2, 1. Tim Deal.
Yo.
Tim Deal knows how to caffeinate, y'all. This ain't a fucking joke. I usually get together a cup of coffee or something, and that basic fucking thing in the corner that just makes coffee. Tim Deal, but what are we doing here today?
We have a Gaggia Classic. It's a $500 espresso machine from Italy. I did my research.
If anybody's wondering why Tim is barely in the frame, it's because he's actually 1 foot 6 inches, and this is the lowest the camera will go. No, we have it focused on the espresso machine. So I actually held off on getting myself coffee. I even kind of faked it and was like, I had a little bit left in the pot and I poured it in the cup and I was like, well, I shouldn't let this coffee go to waste. And I saw what you brought. And I was like, no, this coffee's going to fucking waste.
I'm going to be honest with you. I've had like 2 cups of coffee, but I was at Fox Studios today.
My day doesn't get started until my 2nd cup. So,
okay, cool.
So we're both both in the doghouse here. So so why don't you go ahead and do your thing, right. and I don't know. It's going to be faint while you're over there talking.
Yeah, I might need you to.
Yeah, but I'll do my best to narrate this.
Okay, so real quick, these are espresso beans, Lost Wallet, blue butterfly here on Main Street, locally sourced, locally roasted. He's got 2 shops now. There's the Main Street shop that you've probably been to, but there's the Smoky Hollow.
You're talking about Dale, right?
Dale.
Okay, Dale's awesome.
Just some history here.
Shout out Dale.
Tariq El Sharif. Yeah, shout out to Dale. Tariq El Sharif built this guy and designed this guy's roaster. And now Dale hired another guy that I know named Dell, Dell. Shout outs to Dell.
Shout out Dell, dude.
He's the roaster. So Dell roasts for Dale under Tariq's grand scheme.
You're kidding me.
So the beans we have were like touched by Westchester hands, brewed in El Segundo, and back in Westchester.
This is the Westchester El Segundo connection, bonded by caffeine. Shout out fucking Tariq. I love Tariq. I like, seriously. I love
all the beans.
Tariq has touched our beans. Yes. Tariq's a good dude. Okay, so we're getting it cracking right now.
You should also just smell that.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a deep roast. Yeah, now I'm kind of unfamiliar with the espresso game, but I am familiar with coffee. Sorry, I'm getting some last minute things. Dude, this is my first podcast in like two weeks, dude. Since I quit, I had a couple lined up, and I quit my job recently to pursue freelance, and ever since.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir. And it's not as glamorous as they chalk it up to be, but it's necessary in the pursuit of personal endeavors as an artist.
It's definitely a stress that some either willingly take on.
It. I like it. I like the fire underneath my feet.
So just so you see what's going on, we've taken 2 scoops of these beans. We've grounded them on a fine setting because there's multiple settings. There's like 16 different courses you can get.
And you do this at the finest? Only the finest for Tim Deal.
It's only the finest, but it's the first level of fine, not level 3. It's level 1 fine.
Okay.
I'm a level 1 fine.
Because what is it? What is it after that dust? It's like
it's
like Avengers Endgame.
Yes.
It's like flying around in the air.
Exactly. That's fine level 3.
Okay.
Avengers Endgame.
Okay.
So this stuff, I've been experimenting with this grinder for 3 years, and this is where I've landed.
Fantastic.
Okay.
Fantastic.
And so now, for those watching at home, this quite literally, just to keep it. You had a tune.
What's poppin', fool? Have your friend raise his chair? No, it's because it. No. You're raised, dude. It's it's not. Damn it! I just put a clamp in that, so which means that my home improvement skills are still lacking.
Okay.
Gosh damn it! It's sad to see that happen.
All right, you had a really cool tune going called "Burberry" by Minthays. Hopefully, and it's funny, Burr grinder, Burberry.
Uh huh.
I don't know.
It's a motif for the day. The reason he's not, he fell through the floor. That's why he's not shot. No, it's because he brought this whole espresso this whole espresso set, and we're doing the espresso thing.
Cool. So now this is what happens. This is what happens in the morning. This is what a lot of people ask me.
Dude, fucking
like,
chill hop.
What is this?
What is this? What is this music called? I call it. Yeah. But what do we call it? Is it chill hop? Is it lo-fi? What are we doing here?
Like all of the above.
Yeah.
So you just basically turn that on.
Is it level 1 or level 3? Whoa.
Level 1.
Oh, this is your shot.
This is it. This is quite literally.
This is your shot.
This is me getting ready for work in the morning.
Do you have it down to like, is it the same angle every shot? I was telling Ryan that I wonder if you have it rendered and you just post it every day to keep your fans on your toes.
It's quite literally just where the machine itself is on my counter
for
at
sure.
home.
Yeah.
And so I don't really have much creative freedom other than
it's
what
always
you see.
It's
that. That's it. That's how you do it.
That's it. That's fucking awesome, dude. I'm stoked that it happened here. And are we doing cappuccinos or are we just okay? So we're doing vegan cappuccinos, almond milk. I'm not a vegan. I'm a vegetarian, but I don't milk kind of. The older I got, the more I started thinking about it, milk kind of weirded me out. So I go almond milk.
No worries. Almond milk is delicious.
Yeah, it is. It's awesome.
The Blue Butterfly has a delicious almond milk and a delicious oat milk cappuccino.
Dude, oat milk is a new phenomenon to me. I haven't gotten behind it yet, but I definitely need to take some time to oat milk it up. Yeah.
Now that's uploaded. So that's okay. So now here's when I have this over.
So he has 2 shots. Why does it come in 2s like this?
Well, so this is a double.
Oh, it's a double. But it's a double machine, right? Or can you do singles? Oh. Ooh, you just poured it into one double shots, 1 mug though.
Yeah.
This is fantastic. So 2 shots, 1 mug, 2 shots, a 1 grind thing only makes 2 shots.
That's like what you just got is what you get at like a restaurant. So I'm
Okay.
gonna make mine.
Okay.
Now,
what's the difference between yours and mine?
nothing. Absolutely nothing. You just
Okay, you made it sound like there's gonna be like a.
No, not at all.
Okay.
Also, if I have a guest over or we're just doing it and I screw up, this is take 2, if you will.
Now, why couldn't I make a pot of coffee out of espresso beans?
You could.
He said I could,
You can.
but I wouldn't because.
You wouldn't because it'd be too strong or
For what?
that's too much caffeine.
What are you saying? I can't handle it?
No, it's preference because some people just want coffee beans. I need espresso beans, but
You're about to
You
fuck
can
my
use-
shit up right now. This is like what is this? How could I say this without referencing something illegal or something off the edge here? But this is definitely bad. I feel like this is gonna fuck my outlook up on coffee. And one of the reasons I started this is to promote sobriety and health and stuff. And people are about to see my addictive tendencies go right off the fucking deep end when I have my first espresso, especially out of the home mugs. Jesus. Stab in the back. I'm going to have to turn my coffee machine off and turn it around so it doesn't have to see this.
so this is just shot number 2, literally.
I've only done like Nescafe espresso maker.
That's what I see a lot on like at work is that thing with the pods.
Yeah.
I try to convince people like, hey, I have a machine, let me bring it in.
Yeah.
Oh, it sounds like too much work.
No. Fuck K-cups. Nothing will. I can only talk to you on the land of coffee here. So maybe like, as I say coffee, understand that I'm just talking about filtered fucking bean water, which is what this is. So the K-cup thing, there's a couple reasons why I personally don't do the K-cups. It just seems kind of... Ooh, so he is now pouring the almond milk. They could see it. Yeah. Yeah, he's pouring the almond milk into
This guy.
that guy, which is a tin.
Foamer. It's a milk foamer.
It's a foamer.
It's like metal.
Are you a barista?
No, I've never baristed.
Really?
Let me say that here. I've never worked at a coffee shop or been a barista.
What are you doing? Just spending a lot of time on fucking YouTube, or what are you doing?
No,
iCoffee.com?
Tarek has an espresso machine that's seriously from the 60s, and it's super Italian. I mean, just when you look at it, you feel like you're in Italy in 1960 something.
Yeah.
So he's got like 4 of those kinds of machines. He has one that's just constantly going. And so when he started roasting, Tarek started roasting about like 2012, 13 is when he got into that. So that's naturally when I
In
got
Santa
into
Cruz.
it. Here in Los Angeles.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
How come
he's next on your podcast list?
Dude,
Like,
okay. If you
that's
think
that's a challenge, Tark.
if you think that I haven't asked Tark to be on, Tark just
Oh no, you have actually.
Yeah,
Oh, man.
I've had multiple times, and
I'm just twisting the knife right now.
Yeah,
Without
for
even
sure.
realizing.
He's not into it. He gets really questioned. You know how Tark gets. Like, what are we gonna talk about? What do you want from me?
He needs the outline.
And I know I'm gonna have to send him the Cornell notes. Maybe we can fax it to him after this. I fucking love Tarek. I was on surf team with Tarek. We were awkward, like we fucking we were the awkward high schooler phase together. Like I love Tarek. He's like a brother to me. Feelings are kind of hurt. I went over to his house the fucking 4 years ago, and his mom was introduced herself to me, and I even was like. Yeah, I know, but fuck, it was the only time in my life that's happened to me, and fuck, you never forget your first, bro.
Oh man.
Yeah, heart's still broken. Disco Queen, I'm still upset. She is a little bit of a disco queen. Tark's mom. Juliet, dude, and the Bee Gees. Dude, she had to drive us back from surf team with some fucking groovy jams going down in the car. Okay, so now he did like a little a key bump, a foam. What was that? What was that just now?
Normally I have a sink, and I realized, again, this is my first time transporting this, so I'm learning.
Okay.
But ideally now we're going to purge the machine.
I like the purge.
So that's just to like rinse out the milk. And that's steam. That's just literally steam.
He's now gassing the studio.
So there's a switch. You flip the switch for the steam one, flip it back for the espresso. You purge out the espresso machines.
And is that just getting rid of everything?
Yeah, and then that's it. Now the machine's off. The machine's off, and now we can enjoy it.
Wow.
We can enjoy our cappuccinos.
Fantastic.
Cheers.
Cheers. And you know what's strange about this? I'm going to get you set up properly now.
Okay.
So, no. You sit where you want to sit.
This is my first podcast.
Yeah. This is not your last.
Beautiful.
So then we turn it back this way.
Okay.
So you're going to be like this, and we're going to try and get you facing at me so your voice isn't bouncing off the wall.
I like it. All right.
You're right there.
Just line this guy up.
Right there. Look at that. What a handsome boy. Boom. Okay. That's that.
I think that's great. That's my opinion.
Okay, so let's give this.
I think this is also the first time I've done almond milk with this machine.
Really?
No disrespect to almond milk.
Yeah, that disrespect to almond milk doesn't fucking happen here, sir. So we don't have to worry about it.
Yeah. Might be a little strong.
No, this is amazing.
Yeah.
I see that the red light on that machine. That's the strong setting, sir.
Yeah.
We don't do normal settings.
There's no
over
strong
here.
setting on this. You just.
Oh yeah.
You either are strong or you're not.
This is gonna fuck me up. So how long have you been doing espresso for?
I bought this machine.
Sheens.
I bought this. Yeah, no, it's actually plural. The first machine I bought actually came, and it was an Illy.
Yes.
ILY.
That's
the red.
That's
red
how you
logo.
say that.
Illy. I think. Yeah, Illy.
It just sounded way too cool to be believable. So I was like, it has to be a lie
So it was a red Illy, but it came. I wanted this. I wanted grounded beans that I crush and tamp and pack. And then it was a pods thing. So that was like $500 of just like crap. That was a waste of time. So we got a refund, and then we refueled.
It was a pods thing. The Illy one did pods,
but it was that classic looking machine like the one Tarek has. But
like the one in The Sopranos at the end.
Yes,
The Sopranos.
Yes.
Okay, we're watching the last episode of The Sopranos for the first time tonight, sir.
Perfect.
No. Me and my girlfriend. Sorry, I love you. This is.
You said we are, so I just assumed.
your game is fucked. I felt like I just had to dump you on air there.
It's okay.
So we have made the slow climb.
How many seasons are there in there?
6.
Oh,
but there's 3,000 episodes per season. But it's winding down. We can't wait. And how I actually started watching the show is the internet found it comparable to the Game of Thrones ending, which some disfavored.
Oh.
And so I've seen the last scene of...
You've seen the last scene of The Sopranos.
I've seen the last scene, and that was the premise of the show. I watched the last scene. I had never seen it just because I got into HBO because of Game of Thrones, like plenty others, I'm sure. And I watched the last scene and I saw that's it. And I saw the comments, and there were some diehards. Well, there was hate, but there were some really broken-hearted people. A lot of emotion, and I equated all of that emotion to, wow, this show has some fans. And so I was like,
Right.
I got to give it a go. I started watching it, and it's been fucking amazing.
That's good.
It's been amazing. Have you seen The Sopranos?
No. Actually, no,
I
not
would
at all.
suggest
But I know
getting
the
into
exact ending you're talking about. I feel like either NPR or some YouTube thing I watched talked exactly about what we're talking about.
I think it's
just like nothing happens.
Yes.
And you're
spoiler alert, everybody plug their ears
yeah.
here.
No, but you're
been 30
waiting.
years.
You're waiting for the end, and you're on edge, and then just. It just goes to black, and you see the credits, and you're like, "What?"
I guess people thought their TVs fucked up. People contacted HBO and were like, "Hey, man, you fucked up." Like it just went black,
right?
And like
right.
they had to tell people like no, this was a creative.
That's literally what we decided to do.
So we'll have to hold it off because Kenzie is super excited. But the show's been amazing.
Yeah, don't watch this, Kenzie, before you watch The Sopranos.
She's pretty. I think she's gotten used to like she can filter it out pretty well. Like she has the ability to like turn off.
That's good,
dude. Tim fucking Deal in the house, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Do we formally know each other outside of Gillis?
No.
And it's okay to say no.
It's the Gillis. I think it's the Gillis that is the glue.
But you are so
that grounded us.
You are so
we know,
forthcoming.
We know 40 of the same people, and
it
all the
silly.
Circles overlap where we should know each other. But I don't think we've ever formally sat down.
And this is a great way to do it.
I'm glad we're doing it.
I knew. Did you were you one of the Loyola kids from Westchester?
Did
you go to Westchester High?
No, I didn't. I went to Visitation.
Where's that?
Of Emerson. It's a Catholic elementary school.
Okay.
1st through 8th grade.
Got it.
I went to Kentwood for kindergarten, elementary on Emerson, and then I went with Kyle Boyer and Tarek El Sharif to Covenant for preschool, pre-K.
Okay.
And so Tarek and I were in the same class, and then that was A class and like B class or vice versa.
Okay.
And Kyle Boyer was in B class. And so that's just history. And then I knew Tarek basically till I was 5, and then we stopped hanging out for no ill reason.
Because you went to Santa Cruz.
Well, that's where I saw him because this guy. Because this kid in my chemistry class named Kyle Boyer is like, I'm from Westchester.
I've met Kyle Boyer.
He's
skateboarder, right?
Oh my god, yeah, skateboarder, surfer. You know.
A lot of those kids, I knew those.
I think that's why I didn't hang out with them, because I was not allowed to skateboard. I was never allowed to get near a skateboard.
You weren't allowed to skateboard?
No, I wasn't allowed to do anything most would consider fun.
Your parents get the gist that skateboarding is not a crime, sir.
No, it was.
There was heavy advertisement for that. In the 90s.
I got. What's it? Spitfire magazines. Like I looked at trucks as a teen.
Yeah,
it was cool, but no, I didn't get any of that stuff.
So let's
$4,000 of braces in your mouth, and my parents were like, "There's no way we're gonna let you near a surfboard, a snowboard."
Because of the braces.
Because if you mess up your mouth, like that was just wasted money.
Dang.
So
yeah, that's wild. It's a hell of a smile you got on you.
Thank
it's
you.
It's a $5,000 smile.
Yeah.
And now you're fucking staining it with espresso, dude.
Yes, because the first machine I bought wanted pods, and I refunded that, and then we did more research, and this came up. Okay. And this Gaggia Classic is a really cool video that you can watch, and the guy foams the milk perfectly, which I've never been able to do.
Foams it perfectly?
Like where you can make the heart and like the flower and like the stormtrooper helmet if you're good.
You can't wait. Isn't it just a pour and kind of like a wag off?
You're supposed to dip the steam wand like 0.5 centimeters underneath the meniscus of the milk, and then that's how you're supposed to foam it in a circle, and you feel it with your hand. And like, again, I've never been a barista, so I can't just do latte art, foam art.
For sure.
But so we got this machine, and I got this machine in like 2015 because I was driving to work in Torrance, and I was stopping at the Boy and the Bear. The Boy and the Bear.
Shout out.
Yeah, they're opening a shop in Westchester.
Are
the
they?
first like gourmet, like blue bottle like coffee shop is coming to Westchester.
Westchester
finally.
doesn't have a gourmet coffee shop?
Think about it. Like, think about it for a solid second, and you'll realize, like, the only place you can get really good coffee is, like, Tanner's and Playa del Rey.
What about, like, right there? What about that crepe place?
That's boba tea. That's cool. That's
Yeah.
actually a place that, like, I really don't visit and frequent enough. They have boba. Like, the best boba you could get is in Westchester.
Are you talking about, I think, Casey's Crepes?
Casey's Crepes.
Okay, so right there. Yeah, but you know what's weird about Westchester? Is Westchester is not, to me, it's kind of not like built as a residential town, more as like of a LAX supporting city. It seems like there's a lot of like restaurants and like fast food, busy streets, and then the residential is kind of like tucked away in. Yeah, but everything
behind LMU.
Yeah, but everything there is all like super accessible, kind of like heavy corporate duty. Like I don't know, it just seems like you have Manchester. Is that the street right there, or Washington?
Sepulveda.
Well,
Like,
you have
well,
Sepulveda.
like Sepulveda
running north to
stops.
south, past the golf course.
That's
What is-
Manchester.
Okay, so you have
Yeah.
Manchester, you have Lincoln, and you have Sepulveda,
and that's about it.
and that's like it. And so
Yeah.
that's like the only real estate for.
So like, there's the coffee company.
You guys got
which
fucking
is,
Del Tacos, dude.
I love Del Taco.
I love Del Taco too because I'm vegetarian.
I
get that
remember
fucking
when they
Beyond Meat.
built that Del Taco. Like, you know what I mean? Like that. Like, there was no Del Taco there, and then there was a Del Taco.
There's
and it's
still like
been there.
no Del Tacos anywhere. People will claim. I think that it's two different conversations. People claim like Taco Bell or Del Taco, and I find myself just dancing right in the fucking middle because they mean two different things to me. I try not to eat a whole lot of fast food though.
I've actually cut back a lot on the fast food.
You should. You should.
Dude, we're you're like 30, right? I'm almost
Yes.
30. We're turning 30 soon.
Yes,
you know? And, like, we can't be eating fast food like
we have
that.
to be setting an example for the gentlemen who are and females who are 15, half our age, which is only 50.
I mean, they can eat
which
it
is-
now because their stomachs can handle it, but they really,
They shouldn't.
just eat organic.
They shouldn't. I know people who grew up in the same environment as me, like in the same group, who did not care for passing on the sodas, energy drinks, and fast food.
I wasn't allowed to drink soda. I could
and
only drink Diet Coke.
So when I was 18, I got up to 220 pounds, dude. Just sitting around with my girlfriend at the time, eating and
gosh.
being a piece of shit, just being 19. And
You had a girlfriend at 19. Well, I guess I had a girlfriend at 19
yeah,
too.
dude.
Never mind.
I've had.
I wasn't allowed to do a lot. College was the liberating
Oh, really?
moment for me. But I was 19.
So
and
my
I had a
mom's a
girlfriend.
hippie from Manhattan Beach. So
That's
I was
cool.
I was kind of a latchkey kid. Not that my parents weren't home, but it was just kind of like
That has such a negative connotation attached to it. But I mean, kind of growing up on the West Side, being a latchkey kid is like, oh, so you grew up near the beach. That's cool, you know?
it was more just like you'll get outside and like
Right.
be home like by this certain time. And like multiple nights spending the night at my friend's house is over and over and over and over again to the point where my parents were just like, do you still live with us, right? Like
That's funny.
yeah, it's just kind of different. But my mom is from Manhattan Beach and grew up in a family of like 4 or 5. She has a stepsister, but comes from 2 stepsisters and 3 blood siblings. But the dad, dude, my grandpa was a Hell's Angel.
What?
Yeah,
Oh my God.
but not sick anarchy
No,
or Sons
but
of Anarchy.
I'm with offspring of a Hell's Angel. Like,
Yeah, it was
liege.
yeah, it was like really well. He died.
Sorry to
He
hear
got
that.
stabbed. No. This is before when my mom was a kid. This is a myth to me.
This is ancient history.
Yeah, this is like a myth to me. So my mom grew up playing beach volleyball her whole life.
Tight.
In Manhattan Beach.
Same.
And so she just kind of like wanted us out of the fucking house, like wanted us eating like just natural foods and like, I don't know, like there was 4 of us. I come from a family of 4. So like it wasn't everybody here. She was like, oh my God, everybody get out of the house, go skateboard, go do something. So because of that,
It's like Lords of Dogtown,
kind of, yeah,
probably with just less like chaos.
yeah, less chaos. But I was in punk bands when I was in
Oh,
middle
that's cool.
school and shit. And so
I always wanted to be in a band. I play like 9 instruments and I've never been in a band.
Really?
Like I've never been in a formal, like we show
wait,
up.
did you play
rehearse,
the
and
drums?
I do play the drums.
Did you ever play with Tarek?
No.
Okay,
The only that was Jimmy Putnam.
yeah, I've thrown boomerangs with Jimmy before.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, they used to
Like
throw
actual boom.
Yeah,
I remember when
they
he
had
was
like,
into that.
They had
phase.
like craft boomerangs. I was just thinking about
work.
the other
If
day.
they actually work.
it would blow my fucking mind. I'd be
Yeah.
stoned as a rock and see this
and it just
fucking
comes
thing
right
go like
back.
come back, and I'd be like, this is fucking madness, dude. I don't understand why it works or how it works, but fucking boomerangs
Australians.
goddamn work, dude.
Yeah.
It's Australian, huh?
Yeah, I think
The
so.
Australians got all the
think so.
fucking weird toys. Goddamn savages down there.
I think you actually can like hunt with a boomerang or like
Like Zelda. Yes. Dude, you got the whistles fucking down.
I can actually play that on piano.
Really?
It's like one of
Okay,
just
so
hit a piano with that.
so let's talk about your
by.
musical career. So you
no
weren't-
musical career. There's
just
no musical
just learned
career.
to play instruments.
I took Susan Bagley of Westchester gave me piano lessons right off. You know where Little Vaughn's is by Good Pizza, 83rd Street, 80th Street. Excuse me.
Sir,
80th.
what is that grocery store doing in the middle of that neighborhood like
That's
that?
Little Vaughn's. It just exists.
It's so
It's still-
weird.
it's still
For
been
anybody
there.
who doesn't fucking know, in
Yeah.
the middle of Westchester, like
There's a Vaughn's.
next to houses.
Yeah.
It's like house of Vaughn's.
Small parking lot Vaughn's.
Yes, like
And then a mechanic
the
BJ's
size
is
of
right there.
two houses put together. It's
Come
weird.
to Westchester, home of LAX.
It's weird, dude. It's weird. Westchester's always kind of tripped me out because it's like
It's a microcosm in a much larger world.
Are you guys? Do you guys? So El Segundo is definitely. I definitely associate when it's time to go to the beach. It's like okay,
El Porto.
Yes, but
Yeah.
that was the connection between Manhattan Beach, which has a connection to Hermosa Beach. But like the Gillis, like
Gillis has moved several times.
But
between-
that crew is like Playa del Rey, Westchester. Is that a
Yeah.
Playa del Rey, Westchester thing? Because
Absolutely.
I'm down there because of Ryan Rojas.
That's so cool.
Yeah, so Ryan's one of my best friends. Ryan was brought into the world of Lords of Dogtown against his mother's will. I love you.
See, that would have been
Sandy.
me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he and I are similar, but he got brought into it. I didn't.
He came from a Catholic school, and I met him.
Oh, this is gonna be so good.
I fucked up his life. I didn't fuck up his life,
No,
but
no,
I
no,
introduced.
you've
I
enhanced
introduced.
it.
I introduced variables that would have been that were unattainable to him at the time. So he came to school, and it was English class.
This is El Segundo.
El Segundo Public
Okay.
School, sir. Dangerous
Right
place.
down the street here.
It's not. This is actually an elementary school now, but this is where the Raiders used to practice. I don't know if you've heard that lore, but the Raiders used to practice here.
At
they
El Segundo.
Yeah, on the other side. It's on
What?
Center Street on the other. The Raiders. So El Segundo is actually a Raiders was before the Rams came here. El Segundo itself was a Raiders city.
That's hysterical.
So there was Raiders bars, and everybody. I have Raiders jerseys. Like if you were from El Segundo,
You were a Raiders
you
fan.
were a Raiders fan. But if you were
Wow.
from the surrounding area, you didn't get it. So you're like, why the fuck are you a Raiders fan? It was super, and it's because when we were kids, you could ride your skateboard down and see them in the parking lot with their fucking cars. And
Oh
and
my
back then
God.
it was like balled out like GMC Jimmies and like shit, you know.
Oh my
but
God.
it was crazy, man. So we were. That got turned into a middle school. Me being the kid who I was, I wanted to be a pro skateboarder growing up. I was in punk bands. I had older siblings.
I'm
which-
an only child, and I seriously think like if I had an older sibling, my life would have been completely different because they would have been like, "Why are you so lame? Stop being lame. Here, listen to this music. Wear these clothes."
But you're epic. So there's.
It
there's-
took me
well,
20 years, 20 plus years to
But there's trade offs to that. Did you go to USC?
UFC.
USC.
I did
Okay.
later.
Okay.
I
see-
originally didn't get in, but then I did get
See-
in.
Okay. See, it's taken me as long as I have. And I have to be honest about this because this is what the podcast is all about.
Okay.
I started this podcast because I sobered up. I was getting drunk, I was getting high all the time, and I was snorting coke on the weekends.
Oof.
It was a pack a day of cigarettes for 10 years of my life.
Quit in
And
2011.
Good for you.
Yeah.
I don't do anything now except
But
have
that's good. You're pure and
I guess, but I think that the same way that you were like, yeah, if I had an older sibling, I think I could have. I
could have been
that-
cooler.
Well, no, I feel like if I wasn't trying to like chase like this identity, because my older sister was a volleyball player. She was super pretty, popular chick.
Okay.
Her younger brother from her, so they're my half siblings, so they're the Abods, and they were cool as shit. They used to like go to the desert in the summer and like dirt bike, and Alex was like used to surf with like Maddie Mohagan, and like do you know who was the fucking kid from Westwood, Pate?
Matt Pagan?
Yeah.
So I went to elementary school with Matt Pagan.
Okay, so I'm sure they know each other.
I love
for sure.
Matt Pagan.
And he was like sponsored by Surf Concepts in middle school, so they were always cool. And I think my rebellion to me not really having an image was learning how to play punk music and like starting. And then I was the band dude, but because of that fundamental moment where I was like, well, what the fuck am I gonna be?
Right.
You know, like, and getting put on like game with my sister with like, hey, this is what you should do, this is blah 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 blah. It kind of turned me into somebody who didn't give a fuck about the things that I would grow later and understand were important. Like if I could go back now and realize how easy high school was, I would have put myself in a way better situation. However, I'm so happy that I went to art school. I'm so happy that everything has come to have this podcast.
Full circle.
I could have went to some Ivy League school and got like in a car accident out in front of some 7-Eleven one night. You know, like you have to think about these things when you take inventory of your life. However, there's a lot of dumb shit that I could have fucking waded through. The past 5 years, so I'll give you a little rundown.
Yeah.
I graduated by the skin of my teeth. I just chased from high school.
Okay.
I chased fucking girls and played music my entire life. I went on tour. I missed school to go on tour to play in this fucking super crazy.
We're like
punk
polar
band.
opposites.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna hit you with just the other side of the fence. But this is cool.
I got nominated for prom prince or whatever, homecoming prince. I told them to go fuck themselves. As
you should.
Well, I just had this attitude where I was just like, no, fuck you. I got tickets in school for bringing cigarettes to school.
Oh my God.
I didn't care. I would leave school. Didn't care. And then I got out of school. I did some really fucking stupid things like fuck, man. I just got into like drugs and this and that. Nothing crazy, nothing hard, nothing that would alter my personality for like you seem like you were into drugs for a little bit. Thank God. But it was definitely like some experimentation with some hallucinogenics.
Yeah.
Some pretty consistent coke nights. And it was just unhealthy. I promised my dad in the slew of me being 21, 22, I recorded a record with my band.
See, I think that's so cool.
It's not though, because I was lost, man. I think cosmetically music was just something that was just something that always made me who I was.
Okay.
Like I used to in middle school, dude, I wore chick pants because they didn't make skinny jeans yet. So I had hair down to here. I would wear like fucking bandanas and stuff. I was like a fucking, I had
You're
like
just Slash.
I had
minus the top hat.
I had like an image. I was like always concerned, but I think about like whether or not that's like an aesthetic of me being a designer and just always having to like change.
You're artsy.
Yes, but I wonder.
But you were the kid in high school that like there's no way I'll ever be that cool or that like independent and I just don't care what anyone thinks.
We're all lost though, dude. I was sad, man. I was sad. Everybody goes through their own shit, and I'll spare the podcast, but there was plenty of shit on my own plate that I wasn't happy with, and I think that I knew that was happening, like in the talks, like people like your example just now, and I would thrive off of that, but that doesn't mean anything. I mean, that's unhealthy. It's not.
It's high school. I wouldn't say it's unhealthy. It's totally high school.
Yeah, it's cosmetic and it's just and it's
surface level.
Yeah, and it's stupid. And I ran with that forever. I turned into just like
stupid.
One of those kids, like 20 years old, 21-year-old. And like, I had a fake ID by the time I was 19. I used to wear like dress shoes and like had slick back hair and like was smoke. It was a scene. I just like was such a scene. I was lost, told myself to go to art school and went to art school.
Where?
At the Art Institute. I got a bachelor because they offered a bachelor's degree.
That's here in LA, yeah.
It was in LA and it was in Santa Monica, moved to Hollywood.
Right, okay.
So I fucking did that, and I had to say goodbye to all my friends, and it was so hard because someone who has grown off of kind of that notion that I'll never be that cool, I had to say goodbye to that guy in hopes that like I had to fucking see through the pomade fucking induced fog to see like, yo, down the road you're gonna be happy you did this, and it ended up like saying bye to a lot of my friends and shit. I smoked weed for fucking ever since I was 15, and did numerous activities surrounding that, as mentioned before. I graduated stoned. I never really I graduated because I was able to talk my way through the classes. Like like there was really talented people, but I knew if that I could just be buddies with the fucking teacher or make them laugh or fucking whatever, I could pass the class. And I passed the classes because of that. Now I'm fucked because now there's like this huge buildup of me just kind of bullshitting and faking everything, and I have no substance to my life. I'm just kind of this like sideshow. And I dealt with that for 5 years, tried to realize why did I graduate art school and I don't feel like an artist? Why do I talk to so many people but feel like I can't talk to people? Like, why do I tell myself that I'm living an honest life, but this whole thing feels so fucking dishonest? So I just started cutting everything, dude. I cut out friends. I cut out weed. I cut out alcohol. I cut out meat. I started fucking getting into shape and fucking I quit my job. I quit everything. I let everything go, and I'm fucking building from the ground up. The only thing that's been consistent is we've had our ups and downs, but I've been with my girlfriend of 7 years, and that's fucking. And this is the podcast, dude.
That's
so
beautiful.
I made a podcast.
And you do it.
I do it.
And I've tried to start this, and I mean, you have a great setup, and I don't even have a microphone, but it's you got to do it.
Well, you have one now. You can come on whenever you want.
I appreciate that.
It's yours.
I appreciate that.
And that's kind of like the ongoing theme is, in a world where I just thought that I thought that I had it all figured out. I was so surface level at parties and stuff. I would go and make conversation, and as soon as I felt like that conversation was maybe expiring, but I've like made them laugh and I've made a great impression, I would fake going to the bathroom, go to the bathroom, and not even go to the bathroom, just sit there, check myself in the mirror. It was bad. It was like a really sideshow, lost fucking thing. Now to bring it back full circle,
no.
I think that if I was I'm so thankful for my siblings, and I'm thankful for everything that has led me to this point. But I think that there's some way along the ways where I don't think if I was chasing clout, I think that I could have, saved a lot of time. There is 10 years of my life that account for nothing short of me getting a bachelor's degree. Thank God. But there's 10 years of me with an art degree with no fucking art under my, no art, no like real connections that are valuable, besides like I have like a group of 4 best friends. They know who they are. I fucking love those dudes. I would say it's more like 10 because I don't want to fucking make
the inner circle.
I don't want to make anybody. Yeah, and they're all like the people that have grown up around me, but like I just felt like I had nothing, and technology kept developing, and communication just seemed to getting
exponentially
just farther. Just like it turned into like we planned this whole thing out. I didn't even talk to you in person.
No,
dude.
Well, we talked to Gillis. That was cool.
But I still have tendencies.
Oh,
man.
no,
like,
you're right. You're right. No, you're absolutely right.
I said what's up, and then I fucking kind of bailed. Like
no, it was Gillis. We were drunk. I was on steroids. It was a big deal.
I have tendencies where like I still will tap back into it, and this forces me into a situation where I have to come clean with my tendencies. So I like, and one day I'll be honest about whether or not this was for you guys to tell your story or for me to get over mine.
No,
I'm
happy hearing this. This is your story.
But this is maybe it's a win-win, maybe it's like we get like everybody because I really do am excited for everybody to get to know who Tim Deal is. But there's a reason I do this, and because like when I meditate,
there's a
like,
reason I'm here too, and we're exploring that together.
Yeah, and it's just kind of a trip, and like I've become to, and I think, and I know you do yoga, but with yoga,
a year deep now,
I've learned to observe without judgment, You know,
Oh.
yoga's cool with that at the end of the night. Like
If like you zone out. For me, yoga's about the breathing, and
Yeah.
that sounds so cliche, but
No, it
you're
is.
just going through these insane poses. I do hot yoga, so it's
You
already
do.
ridiculous.
Is that Bikram?
No, it's Modo. It's the one. So it's Lincoln and Washington by the In-N-Out.
Oh, okay.
And I actually followed my yoga instructor from the climbing gym I go to, Cliffs of Id, because she's just super chill, down to earth. She has like a really soft
Dude,
voice.
I have climbing shoes and shit.
Oh, do you? That's why we're here.
Yes.
So I've got everything shy of an anchor system and
Like a
webbing.
Like a gree.
No, I've got all that stuff. What I'm saying is the two things I lack means we cannot go outdoor rock climbing. If I get these two things,
Yeah.
we can just because I have rope, I have harnesses, like I have everything.
You know how to lead climb and shit?
All that. I didn't learn how to lead climb, but I learned how to climb on real rock the first time up in Santa Cruz. And then now this
How old were
gym
you?
stuff. I was 19.
Okay.
So it's
Because
cool.
if you're about to say when you were
lived
9, I was like, oh, your parents won't let you skateboard, but put you up on a fucking
in
cliff.
college. I chose to live in the substance-free hall. It was a tip from my cousin because he was like, live in the substance-free hall and all your roommates won't be substance-free. But I actually got a hallway full of substance-free people.
That's epic.
And it was awesome. It was hilarious, and that's a podcast episode in itself.
I
It's just
would have
that
said
hallway.
that's lame back in the day, but
No, but
now I
at the time I chose that thinking I'm gonna get all the druggies and like the drinkers and we'll have a party, and it was like the straightest edge people, like the straightest arrows you've ever met, and God bless every one of them.
Where did you go to school? Santa Cruz?
UC Santa Cruz.
Oh, with Tarek.
With Tarek, yeah. That was the whole, and Kyle Boyer and
they all went up there. Banana slugs.
Banana slugs. But so I'm in the substance-free hall, and one weekend, the room aide, the RA of our building, he posts something saying, hey, for like $12, you get climbing gear and a sandwich and a full round trip van ride from this dorm, pickup parking lot, and we'll drop you off. And I'm like, well, what time do we have to be there? He's like 4 a.m. because it's a drive and we're going to climb and we'll come back like from 4 to 4. And it was $12.
That's epic.
And so I asked everybody in my hallway, like, hey, I'm going to go do this. I've never really done this before. Like we've gone to the Hangar 18,
yes.
When we were kids, for the birthday party, but like this is real rock climbing. And like not a single person from my hallway went. So I woke up at 3:50, made my ass go downstairs, wearing whatever. And it was the most like unbelievable experience. I mean, like we were climbing next to like a waterfall, and it was incredible.
Epic, dude.
And these were the first little instances of like, I'm alone. There's no parents. My mom, my entire life kept my nose in a book.
Oh, really?
Like I couldn't look up from this book. Like, and the metaphor is like, no, like just do this stuff when you get to college. Just wait till college. It can wait.
That's what they used to tell you?
No, that was what was ingrained in me since,
Did you go to prom?
I went to like 3 proms, but my senior year, I took a girl from college to prom and like nothing happened.
Really?
And then my best friend at the
Good for
time
you.
ended up having sex with my prom date like later, but not like she was my date. It was just, the joke is
tough life,
my
dude.
friend like banged my prom date, and yeah,
come on,
it was really funny, dude. It was really funny.
Fuck, dude.
Yeah.
Well,
I won't say names because
it's
know
okay.
who they are.
It's
It's
okay.
great. But like now
Thanks,
we can
bud.
laugh about it. But at the time it was like, it was all trippy and weird. But even then, I wasn't in any kind of state or mindset to like, have sex on prom. Like I waited. I just waited till college, and then this like flower that was just ready to blossom, like was in the right environment to like.
Oh, good for you. So you waited for everything.
I didn't, like the last 3 weeks of high school, and I'm okay going on record saying this, like the last 3 weeks of high school, I smoked weed for the first time. I drank profusely, and like, no one got hurt. Nothing bad happened. And, I had the time of my life at a party, and I kissed a girl, and we made out, and it was amazing. And we went to McDonald's afterward.
Like the Superbad.
Like straight, like I remember watching Superbad going like.
Which is also go to high school, by the way.
Yeah, that's right. That's the beginning opening scene. It's like totally, and like very Superbad, like, but even those kids in Superbad, they hung out. They were kind of like hooligans. Like I was this goody two shoes. I was a good kid.
You had like the American Pie story, dude.
But like I told my parents where I was, and that's where I was, because
for sure.
didn't rebel and I didn't think to rebel. And then I just remember one night I was at my buddy's place and I was always over there and he was a nerd. We played video games. We were nerds. We played video games. We watched movies. We ate. His grandma had a pool around the corner, so we would swim all day. The mom or the grandma would make us a huge, meal and we'd eat. And then we'd like, can I spend the night at, my friends? Sure, of course. You guys aren't going to do anything.
Had to talk to the moms and stuff?
No,
or?
I mean, yeah. But like the thing is my parents and their parents knew that we weren't going to do anything bad. And he had like a rebellious older sister that was doing all the shit you were saying, like, partying and she was doing all drugs and throughout high school. And so we kind of were like, oh, your older sister's naughty. Haha.
Yeah, let's not
do that. Let's just play Nintendo 64 and GameCube and Xbox.
Did you guys play Dance Dance Revolution like Tarek?
No, like that.
Tarek like had his own pad.
Him and Jimmy
shit.
Putnam were so good at that.
Yeah, it was fucking wild, dude. That's a memory.
But no, like I just followed the rules, and I was oblivious to so much that was going on, even at high school. So like come freshman year of college, like I'm trying new things, and oh my God, this is cool. And I joined a choir, and I was playing volleyball, and I was doing all these clubs, and I was meeting people, and I was just totally letting loose. And I remember like getting Facebook messages from like girls a grade below me or from high school that were like, dude, you're having so much fun in college. Like, you're having such a great experience. By the way, like, I had a huge crush on you for like 2 years. And I'm going, no, you didn't. Yeah. And they're like, dude, you were just so oblivious. You were just like, oh, see you in geometry. And you're like, dude, he's just either not into girls or he's just that blind. And so it was like, there was this awful rumor that like I was gay. And there's nothing wrong with being gay. But like, everyone just thought I was gay because I didn't pursue girls because I just didn't know to. And I didn't want to. I wanted to get good grades so I could go to college. And, part of me too was like, I need to get good grades to go to college. But like, I also want to go to a cool college and like rage the way I've seen in the movies. Like Animal House, which I didn't watch R-rated movies till I was older than 13. And so when I started like watching some of these films, even like the edited versions, I'm like, dude, like, I know this is a movie from the 70s, but like, I totally want to do that in college.
For sure.
And honestly,
that movie parties.
But like I've had nights that meet that movie and exceed it
for sure,
simply because it was the right people, the right place.
Yeah, there's
Santa Cruz for crying out loud.
There's a weird chemical that happens like when like you can feel it, and I don't know if you you might be able to realize it when it happens, but the fog of like reminiscing about like your late teens and like it almost like is like played to like an Atari's soundtrack, and it's like
when home movies of us when we were like kids in that like 1994
it's a beautiful
format.
Thing, man. It's a beautiful thing. That's why like like one of the things that strikes me super hard is like when kids in high school are so depressed they do something super dangerous to themselves, and it's like, yo man, if you can just hang in there for a couple more years, man, I promise.
Right.
And dude, how shitty is okay, so you were saying like people were giving you a hard time because they thought you were gay.
So I got bullied really bad my freshman year by this kid.
Of college or high school?
High school. And this was before rumors. And you know what's actually funny is 2 kids from my elementary school visitation, they were juniors in the high school, and like I don't have any siblings, so like these guys were totally older brother figures, right? But on my first day of high school, they intentionally held me because like the first bell rings, which is like the 10-minute warning to get to class, the second bell rings, and third bell means you're late. So like second bell rang, and I'm like literally trying to walk to class, and they're holding me by the backpack. They're like, no dude, you're not going to be a freshman. We're going to make you cool. And I'm like physically panicking and sweating because I'm going to be late to my first high school class. And I'm still like the freshest goody two-shoes kid. And I remember they made me go ask out like the prettiest girl in my class. Her name was Janelle Liebel. And like, I don't even know where she is or if she ever would watch this, but like they made me go ask her out. And like, hey, can we go out sometime? And I remember this girl just looked at me like, who are you? Like, walk away.
For sure.
And I just got epically shot down. And so part of me believes, and this would be a great thing to investigate, part of me believes that like that got around and everyone's like, who the hell does this kid think he is, asking out Janelle Liebel on day one? And so this kid starts bullying me. And we're in religion class, Bishop Montgomery, Catholic high school.
For sure.
And we had a sub And I'll never forget this. He and I were sitting, of course, we were in the back row, so no one could see us. And our teacher is this like old woman who's like very overweight, and she's like totally not paying attention except to herself and her stories. And then we had a sub that day. And so this woman who's like much younger, way more attentive, and she's just subbing. She doesn't give a shit. And this guy, the last 15 minutes of class, she's like, free period, read, like just be quiet. This guy, like I dropped my pencil and he's like, he just starts cussing me out. Like for 15 minutes, this guy calls me every name in the book, is intimidating me. He's like, I'm gonna fucking kick your ass and I'm gonna murder your parents. Like this guy's just saying shit to me that's like, whoa.
Oh,
like this is
no.
something out of a movie, whoa. And so I'm trying to get the sub's attention without losing him from berating me, because I've got to do something. Like I've literally got to do something, because this is that crossroads of like I get bullied for 4 years or I do something and stand up for myself. And like
first day of prison.
But like I interviewed with like the warden, like the dean of men with my school, and this guy promised me like there's no harassment, there's no bullying, and I never got bullied before. You know, like kids are mean in elementary school, but I've never been like one-on-one bullied.
Okay.
And so I like drop another pencil, and the sub looks up this time, and I kind of like get her eye line, and I'm like, you know, look at this guy over here, right? So for another 10 minutes, he just goes on, and the sub's face just like, her jaw drops, because she can now hear what this guy's saying under his breath, and she can see this. And so I'm like, okay, checkmate. And so I keep smiling at this guy. That's getting him more mad at me, because he's like, why are you smiling? Are you gay? You must be gay. Like, faggot this. And like, just calls me every name in the book. And then the bell rings, and I go, you have fun now. And I leave. And he goes to stand up, and the sub goes, sit your butt down. And so I walk straight into the dean's room, the men of, you know, the dean of boys discipline. I sit down, I slam the door, and I'm like, we've got a problem. And I tell him everything that happens. And I was like, you interviewed me to go to this high school, and you promised me this wouldn't happen. So like, you're going to do something about this. He scares this kid. Oh, no worries.
Yeah, thanks for the subscription. I'm in the middle of a story, though. Hold on 1 second. All right, keep going, dude.
This guy's subscribing because he's like, I got. No, I'm just kidding. So then this guy, the dean talks to this kid, and like, this kid doesn't even talk to me or look at me for 2 years. He ends up like either quitting. He either like leaves our high school or got expelled. But like, this kid made sure to like ruin my reputation for 4 years. And so fast forward, I'm a senior. This was still goody two shoes period for me, but like I'm leading the Kairos retreat. Or I'm sorry, I'm leading the freshman like religious retreat on campus, not Kairos. And like all these freshman kids, we give them a period where it's like, okay, no holding back. You can ask any question you want. We'll answer it. We'll tell you the truth. Any rumors you want to ask. This kid raises his hand, freshman, and he goes, I heard a rumor you're gay. No. And it was like, and I mean, like, I turned white, because it's like, oh my God, like that guy's been gone for 3 years. And like, I can't believe this is still a thing. And like, I don't know, like it was just really weird. And then like Melissa Perez, who was standing up there with me, like grabs me and she's like, trust me, he's not. And everyone goes, ooh.
Yeah.
But like, I just was like, I kind of wanted to be like, why the fuck would you ask that? Like, even if it was true, like, how do you know that? You know what I mean? Like, it just bugged me.
Yeah.
And so that kind of was like this fuel for like, college, this will not happen. Like, no one will question this. No one will ever, you know what I mean? Like, I will not get bullied. I will not be.
For sure.
You know what I mean? And so it wasn't even
You're
like
going
an
up on the
image.
food chain.
That's what I'm saying. And so like, come UC Santa Cruz, like a UC, you know, big university. And I still, like, to this day, people will go, oh, Santa Cruz, like, do they still give grades there? Is it still pass-fail? And it's like, we sequence the human genome, you know, online. Like, what do you mean pass-fail? Like, I did stem cell research and biological, you know, pre-med health sciences there, like, pass-fail, you know.
Wait, so I was going to ask that. I'm glad you said that. So I was under the impression that Santa Cruz is like a hippie school, but apparently it is not.
It is 30% the hippiest school you've ever seen, like, on the facade, like at like face value, it's hippie town America. But if you spend more than like 24 hours at that school and actually like do your online research and like dig into what Santa Cruz offers, it's like one of the top research facilities. They just built like this new building that a buddy of mine works at, and he does neuronal research on like mouse developing brains. So like this guy's doing the coolest stuff and like learning development. And, you know, they work with, so there's like mice, worms, flies, and yeast. And that's like the 4 like main things that you can use an organism as like a tool to study. Like you can study yeast and contribute like to human, medicine. And so like UC Santa Cruz uses all of these things in study. A friend of mine in my hallway, the Substance Free Hall, he studied video games. And so like they have a leading program of like computers and programming, and he works on all the Halo games. He works at 343.
Oh, no kidding.
And I remember there was one weekend, and I don't really take credit for this, but like there was a weekend where I saw a flyer that said this Saturday 343 Games is coming to talk at our auditorium, J. Baskin Engineering. And Sam and I, like, dude, freshman year, sophomore year, we'd play Halo 3 together, and we'd play online Xbox. And I'd be in Derek and Kyle's room, and he'd be in his room with like Jason, and we'd be playing like multiplayer, and so I go, Sam,
which was such a trip back then.
Oh,
too.
and I mean, like,
it was the future.
I can't believe we were allowed to play online and like just cuss each other out
across. People don't get the lobbies. People forget about the lobbies back then.
Fuck you, motherfucker. And then like you're talking to some British people or like Chinese people that are just like speaking to you in their language, and they're just shit talking.
It was crazy.
I mean, and we were, and you had the little headset, so like mom couldn't hear and dad, but like if the TV was loud enough, they'd be like, "Fucking motherfuckers!"
Yeah, for sure. If you had it coming out of the TV as well,
right? And you had to, you know what I mean? Like you had to manipulate the settings so they didn't hear that shit. But dude, even crazy. Like I remember there was a girl who was from Chicago that like we somehow like became friends at a multiplayer Slayer game, because all these dudes were just like harassing her, like sexually harassing this girl in the campaign. And I just remember being like, guys, stop. And it wasn't to like be cool or anything, but I was just like, stop picking on her, like stop being weird. And so she's like, I've muted everyone except for you, because you were the only one that was nice to me.
Oh,
and
no
like,
shit.
dude, we became friends. Like we would, like, you could message each other. And I remember one night we like stayed up late, like talking. And again, I was not cool enough or aware to be like, oh wow, we're actually having this like relationship through Xbox Live right now. Like we totally did. And I remember her name was Christy, and like, if you're out there, Christy,
shout out,
if
Christy.
You're out there and can hear this, like that was wild. Like that was insanely wild. So Sam goes to this seminar, and this guy's like 6'8", plays basketball. Just fast forward, not only is he working at 434, they dress him up as Master Chief, and he goes to the events in 6'8", full body armor Master Chief, and he does promo events, and he's a software programmer.
No way.
And the literal thing at the last time I talked to him, which was like years ago, he programs the AI. So like, let's say dude's on the turret on your Warthog, and he's tracking an enemy.
Yeah.
If the enemy runs behind you, the guy stops shooting so he doesn't harm you and continues shooting. That's what his team worked on.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, so like Halo 4, he has a credit like on
Epic.
Like at the end of the games. And I remember he posted a screenshot, and then I ended up like beating the game, going like, oh my God, like,
yeah, there you are.
We were freshmen.
Aren't they remastering those? Aren't they like redoing?
They've redone them all, dude.
Yeah.
And there's a new one coming out that
might be it.
I haven't played or bought a video game since before college, which was like 2009. And
I still play games on this rig here.
I have my N64. I have an emulator on my laptop, so I'll still,
you still dabble.
I'll still fuck with it.
I just can't in good conscience. Like it's a Sunday thing for me. Like I just
absolutely
like on Monday, if I have free time, I should be like, something in my head goes, hey, remember when you were fucking up? Hey, remember when you were wasting all that time, dude? Hey, get back to work, dude.
I'm not saying video games are a waste of time, but they're so time consuming.
Well,
now,
dude. They're prettier than ever, but they're better looking than ever. They're more like captivating, and I mean that in a different sense than
there's like a story, and you're like, oh my gosh,
but like every time you like move your eyes, your character's like, what are you blinking at? It's super like intuitive and weird. Dude, I have some VR. I have VR, and
that's if I ever purchase something, it's going to be the Oculus Rift.
That's
so
what
I
I
can
have.
Be a Jedi in
that's
my
what
living
I have.
room.
I have it's Elder Scrolls Skyrim, and
for the VR.
Yes,
oh
and you hear,
God, dude.
and you hear the dragon, and you go,
what is it?
and you look up and it flies overhead and you shoot the bow and arrow like this.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man, you're like fucking crouched behind a rock on a cliff shooting at a dragon.
That's so cool.
It's fucking crazy, man.
That's cool.
But yeah, they're very addicting because they're very
but I mean, you can play for 7 hours and it's like end of chapter 1 and you're like, "Oh, dude, I got to get up in 5 hours."
Well, for sure.
Work.
So see, I think it's a great escape for people who live not very colorful lives themselves. And no disrespect, I'm gonna say, well, maybe
a little bit of respect.
So it's best in these situations to talk for myself. So I think that video games would have kept me from. First of all, I've always put myself in situations where I needed to like work. And ever since I developed that, like, hey man, are you fucking up thing? Now I have a strong conscience in my head that's like, you're fucking up, like, and it's hard for me to like relax and do things.
And so just real quick, like in my industry now, there are now days where, oh my God, like I know I'm not working for the next 4 days. Now there's few things I can do to change that. And even if I do try to get work in the next 4 days, it's purely like a subjective luck of the draw thing or timing with my program. But
so what do you do?
Well, so I go surf or I go to yoga. And I promise you, when I go and do those things for myself, selfishly, and like, you're fucking up, but like I know that like if I invest in a yoga class right now, I'll improve my body. If I go surf,
there has to be juice out of the fruit.
Right.
Yes.
But so if I squeeze the fruit to get some juice, in my higher level conscious and like the universe is going to act through me, I have a greater chance of coming back to my phone and going, oh, look at that. Like I just got a call for work Tuesday. Yes, I'm available. And if I sit at home and mope and don't do those things or think, no, I can't go reward myself with a surf or a yoga or rock climbing or something I like to do or volleyball, I won't get a call. Like you know what I mean? And maybe that's like, I'm mentally perceiving that and perception is reality, but
100%.
You have to go out and go to the gym or, you know what? I really want to go get a donut right now. Go get a donut. Like go do you, go, maybe do something that's cool and fun and something that you love and you do it purely. And then you just end up like, oh, whoa, like look at that. When it rains, it pours. I'm working tomorrow. I'm working Thursday. Friday, I still have off. I'd like to work Friday. Maybe the universe will bless me if I do these things and I go to work and I work hard and I give without that wanting to receive, or maybe I help someone who's new and they've never been on a film set and they pair me with them and it's like, oh, well, hey, do you know what this is called? Well, let me teach you. And now I'm just being cool and like trying to help someone better their craft for the good or better or worse. And then again, I look at my phone. Oh, sweet. I got a thing for Friday now.
Isn't that so weird? And that's just the law of attraction. I think so.
It's worked for me the last like 2 years, and I advocate heavily on like just do that. And like if you pursue passion, finances will come. You have to pursue it the right way, and you have to give it the right kind of energy. But
so I can speak on this. From personal experience. I quit my job. So within the 5 years,
again, congrats. That's the first step.
Thank you. So I worked a job, and the dude's a good dude, but he knows that, dude. I don't mind saying it. I was paid $15 an hour for 5 years because it allowed me to come to work stoned, and I could be stoned, and I could turn on a podcast, and I could be complacent with my career, and it was a sure $15 an hour. It was almost like and he's a good dude. But I just like plenty of other relationships, I'd rather handle myself on a intimate level, not a professional level with some individuals.
Well, and that's the artist in you. You know what I mean? Like you're like, I can create and
So I ended up once I was like the past year, I told myself that I was going to get rid of all things that I considered toxic in my life. Cigarettes, cocaine, weed, drinking, all this shit. But I knew deep down, and I started running, and I started setting all these goals. I started crushing these goals, but I knew
That's right. You ran a marathon just recently.
No, not a marathon, 5K. But
Okay, I'm sorry.
no.
I'm
it's okay.
illiterate when it comes to running stuff because
It's
after
okay.
the third mile, my right knee just stops.
Okay,
working.
that's perfect for you because 5K is just a little over 3 miles. So but I was a smoker. I was a smoker for 10 years, and I saw my friends run a marathon, and I figured that since I kind of have a platform, social media, I've made a lot of friends and have some followers.
Connections.
I would be, I would only post positive stuff. So I mean, I'm gonna be a fucking runner. Like I saw my friends running the marathon, and why not me?
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of people lack. If there's one thing that I do appreciate about myself is I've always been able to be like, I'm gonna fucking do that, and people be like, wait, you can't just go do that. No,
you can't. That's thank you.
I'm gonna go fucking do that.
Yeah.
And so, but from doing that, I was on soccer team and ended up like I hadn't played soccer in forever. Ended up on JV. Like all these things have worked out for me because I've just been like, oh no,
I
dude,
want
I'm
to, and I am gonna go do that
for sure. So I finally, I knew at the top of my list, I was neglecting it because it's scary to stand up for yourself on a professional level.
Oh, dude,
on
multiple planes.
So I knew that no matter how much I talked about my job, or how much I talked about like quit being sober and like exercising, all these things, all somebody had to do was, but you still work your fucking job for $15 an hour, dude.
Right.
And I was, and that was the kink in my armor. That's at the point where I'd be like, you're fucking right. So
so you acknowledge and recognize that.
Yes.
And for many people, they never make that self-realization. They never have a friend that tells them. I'm not trying to interrupt. I'm just saying like you are blessed in the fact that like these things were happening and you were like this is the problem and I need to like attune and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
A lot like what I find is a lot of people who desire these same things, they don't have that outlet or that person or that inner like voice telling them, hey, like I think this is what's wrong. Let's change this.
For sure. Well, what also helps that situation is a girlfriend, and she's been here forever, and she's multiple times have been like, hey, what are we gonna do?
Right.
With $15 an hour, like I'll put in, like we've always gone halves on everything. She's been super cool about that. We've always gone halves, but
Dutch is solid.
But she's, especially in LA, but we're getting to a point where, like she's like, oh, like wants something maybe a little bit more expensive than just a Mexican food dinner.
Yeah.
And is like, hey, can you go in on this? I'm like, I still work a 15-hour job.
It's rough.
And then 3-letter word, why? And I don't have an answer. I didn't have an answer for that. And the truth was because I didn't know how to stand up for myself. Maybe because over the past 10 years, I didn't have much of a portfolio. I didn't develop myself as an artist.
Right.
So I knew that throwing myself out of the net, it was like throwing myself out of the nest, but knowing that I didn't have much wings.
Right.
I was just kind of like, well, I'm just going to fall to the ground. But, what I started to do is before I quit, I started this podcast.
Dope.
And that was just the idea.
That was the seed, though.
Yeah.
You knew to plant the seed.
Well, I originally wanted to stream video games. That was it. It was originally me playing video games.
You did, I think. Started.
Yeah, being a class clown, and like I thought, but it's how I equate it is it's super like Venice boardwalky. Like it's like, hey, look at me play video games. Look at me play video, because you see people like pop up,
totally.
1 viewer, 0 viewer, 2 viewers, 0 viewer. So you're super like, hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the
Right.
And then they're gone, and then you're there by yourself and you're playing video games. I don't even love video games, and so I started bringing friends on because I knew how to have a good time with friends.
Yeah,
and I'd have friends on, and I would film both of us playing. That was fun.
Yeah.
But we got to a point where, people couldn't really hear what we were saying because we're having one microphone. Fuck. Okay, I'll get more. I'll get more microphones. Hey, I would come on, but I don't really play a lot of video games.
No, but like a newborn baby,
it
just started developing.
Yeah.
And you had an idea, and you birthed the idea, and you're just like, oh, and gosh, I have this idea, and I don't even really know what it is, but
Yeah.
I'm going to take care of it and I'm going to invest
That's exactly
in
it.
And now you have I wouldn't say an infant or a small child, but now
I would say it's like a toddler. I would say it's like a toddler.
Yeah.
That's like growing. It's like it has hair
It's
color.
walking. It's walking.
Yeah, and it has hair color and it like has a personality and stuff, but it's still very minor to me because
and it's still growing.
It is still growing. So
ever growing.
So to bring it full back, is you were talking about how the universe favors, or we were talking about the law of attraction generally. So
Yeah.
I knew that I could design because I started doing these things like this art, and I would post and people would be like, yo, what the fuck? You can make this art? And I was sober. Yeah. So
cool.
It's the layout. So they can see it's right here. Do you see?
Boom.
So every month,
this is mine.
I do
you don't get one.
I do a different one. Every month I do a different layout, and it's a way for me to promote myself as an artist, a different layout, printed and on the Twitch stream there. So you'll see like the squirt gun on the whiteboard up there.
Yeah.
Yes. That was one we did for like Child Abuse Awareness Month.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I would take the proceeds from this and donate it to a charity each month. So now now there's charity. I'm pushing out my art. I'm being creative. I designed this layout and I'm having one-on-one conversations. So this is all developing.
This is so cool.
This is all developing.
You're having coffee now.
Yeah, and now
talking about coffee.
And now there's coffee. So I still work this job, and I was doing Tuesdays and Thursdays, and it was getting traction because people were excited to come on and tell me their story the same way.
Right. Yeah,
dude. You hit me up, you know, and that's usually how it happens because I forget, dude. I forget that this is I don't put myself out there enough. I'm gonna keep going with the story. So I've told the boss at the time that I wanted to quit before, and he kind of downplayed it, like you're not gonna, like, we both know what's up, like,
yeah,
what are you gonna go do, you know?
Yeah.
Because I like because I didn't want to hurt his feelings, so I was like, oh, I'm not like looking for a job or anything. I just don't want to work here anymore. I want to move out. And he was just kind of like, that's not a smart move, you know. And like with talking, it was kind of sociopathic. It was kind of weird.
Like the rationale behind it makes sense, but it's like,
yeah, it was kind of weird. And then so I had a dream where I woke up one day and went to work, and he said it was a startup, dude. It was me, this guy, and two other folks. And it was just, I woke up one day and in my dream, and I went to work, and I was like, hey, good morning, dude. And he said some like snide remark to me, which he would, because at a startup, you're at the mercy of the dude's mood.
Startups are rough.
Yeah,
shout outs to all of my friends that have like made it from startups. And
yeah, it's tough because you're at the mercy of whatever, whatever. It's anything goes. There's no like,
you can lose your funding tomorrow.
Yeah, there's no rule book like on how anybody can talk to you. There's nothing. There's nothing.
There's no HR.
Yeah, there's nothing. So he said some snide remarks, and I remember walking away feeling like, man, fuck you, man.
Yeah.
And I went into the bathroom to wash my hands, and I had gotten up at this job every day, which I know isn't a problem for you because you're a film dude. But I'd been waking up at to get there at 7 every day. I was the first one in the office. I'd open it, and I was there. I was sitting in an office by myself with headphones.
Oh man.
8 hours a day. On my hour lunch break, I'd go to the gym, come back, and that was my day. It was super antisocial.
Where was this?
This was like here in town.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
still rough, but I just anyway.
No.
There was no like hour commute.
No.
Back and forth. Okay.
No, that would be. I think
that would have probably driven you into a really bad place because that's
for sure. But you know what? I think that I would have quit the job. I'm glad that it wasn't, because everything kind of played out to be exactly where I needed to be.
Life timing, dude.
So I went in the mirror and I had this dream where he gave me this snide remark, and I went to the bathroom to wash my hands. I looked in the mirror and I was gray, like Gandalf, like old, and I was like trying to figure out like where all the time went. And I remember sitting there with my head in my hands, like trying to account for days and days and days and days. And I was able to account for the days, but what the days meant was I was just fucking there, and I just kept showing up. And I just kept showing up and showing up and showing up. And he was still talking to me the way he was. And now I'm old as fuck. And I like that. I woke up in my bed and I was downstairs making my green drink, and I was like, and something in my head goes, yeah, well, now you got to quit.
Yeah, today's the day.
And I was like, oh, what if I just quit? And I was like, well, now I need to quit because if I don't quit now I'm a pussy. You know, now like my psyche will write myself off as a fucking coward. Like you had this dream, you knew this dream happened to you, and you still don't have what it takes to go in there and stand up for yourself. So I walked in there and he was telling me about, we were a startup, some media company. He was just like telling me about some like untapped fucking source of revenue somewhere that like we should go get our, and I was just like, hey man, I need to put in my 2 weeks. And and he was just like, and he like I don't know. Anyways, so I fucking hopped out of the job. It was super awkward. It was awkward, like, cause we kind of left on like there was no like goodbye lunch. There was no like nothing.
No exit interview.
I was there for fucking 5 years. Like exit interview, that's laughable. I don't even know what that is. That's so that's so funny you say that. What the fuck's that? And so I just have you seen Brooklyn's Finest? That movie? There's
with
Don Cheadle, Don Cheadle and who's the fucking guy? There's this scene where Richard Gere.
I've definitely not seen this movie.
Okay, there's a scene where Richard Gere is in the NYPD.
Okay,
and it's like a movie like Crash. Like it's like an intertwined story with like 6 different storylines, and at the end there's this big like piano moment where everybody like a bullet missed somebody and like hit somebody and like, you know, like some like that. And but there's a scene in the beginning of the movie where Richard Gere says Richard Gere is like in line to quit the NYPD, and he says something about working there for 40 years or something like that, and it's like super gray. You would understand the tone, like super blue tones, really dark and gray, kind of washed out. Yeah, and he walks up to this little table like the lobby in Men in Black. Like there's nothing except this table, and he walks up.
Dude with his newspaper.
Yeah, and it's almost worse than that. It's like in a gym, it looks like, and it's like, and he walks up and he like gives them his badge and stands up tall, like, yep, that's right, 45 years of service, and stands up, and they throw it in a lockbox and they say, okay, thanks.
Dang,
and it was like that. It was like that. And like in that split moment, you account for you like you almost panic because you're like, dude, 5 years came down to that. Like that was it.
Oh,
and
dude,
so
tell me about it.
So it was actually my birthday weekend that weekend. So I went and I had a good time. I went across the country with my girlfriend to Boston. And when I came back, I knew that I owed. I thought about it and I was like, okay, well, this is what happened now. It's for the best. Nothing was going to come out of that. You quadruple checked. You were there for 5 years. Your pay didn't change, whatever.
Man.
So I knew that, okay, you're freelance.
Yeah.
You got to get up at 6 every day. Every day you got to get up like you have a job, because your new job is convincing people that your fucking freelance was a good decision. So that's it. You get a work email squared away. You're learning something new every day. There's way too many resources. Udemy, YouTube, something you're always learning. You got to go to the gym. You still have a lunch break. And that's when you get away from your computer. So every day at fucking 12 to 1 or whatever, now it's 2 to 3. It's different every day.
Sure.
But you have a lunch break. Okay, you're still eating clean. You still fucking do this. And my routine has not changed at all. Sometimes I'm in my basketball shorts longer than I normally would be, but I'm always up. I'm always working. I'm always trying to be as attentive as possible. And I'm literally faking it. I'm faking my freelance career like it's a $1 million operation. I fake it. I'm on top of emails. And now it's to the point where I have, to bring it all back to my sobriety, is I have so much responsibility now. Oh, no. Bring it back to what you were saying. Sorry, I almost fucking sidetracked. Because I have treated myself with that type of responsibility and have handled this situation with the severity I have. I've been lucky enough to find work. Granted, they've been friends. But
it's always friends. Friends will always start that.
I've managed to be lucky enough to always have something to work on. And I really do believe that it's because the universe knows I get up and I work. and I fucking get up and
Well, and you're quite literally putting it out there that, hey, I'm freelance now. Hey, I've changed my life. I've changed my bad habits. I've made my bad habits great habits.
sure.
I want this. Like the freelance lifestyle. There's a few things I want to say. The freelance lifestyle is insane because like I got off Facebook the moment I got into USC because there were just hundreds of photos that were just absolutely incriminating from UC Santa Cruz because I didn't give a shit. Like I was at UC Santa Cruz and like
sure.
all the stereotypes that people think about Santa Cruz are true when it comes to like the party scene and like the marijuana and like all that stuff. I mean, it's UCSC, Uncle Charlie's summer camp.
Oh,
Okay, that's a baby boomer, like our parents' phrase that gets thrown around.
yeah.
But so like I deleted my Facebook and then I went through USC and then I went through my career. I lost my career job. I was let go from like the thing I studied for like 6 years professionally.
What was that?
And that was gerontology.
I
I studied like nursing home administration, gerontology.
That's what you went to school for?
That's what I went to school for.
Is that your passion?
So, okay, instead of studying and getting good grades to get straight A's to go to med school, I was singing in choir. I was playing piano. I was teaching myself in college how to play Nintendo music. And I would go in the dining halls and I would just like practice Legend of Zelda, Super Mario, Mario Kart. Like I would play these songs and it was just this nostalgia trip because we're all 90s kids, right? And so I mean, that's what I would do. I would play a grand piano in front of like a dining hall full of people, and I learned how to perform, and I learned how to do stuff, and I sang, and you know what I mean? Like I kept the art stuff alive, and I went to 8 a.m. lab lecture for biochemistry, and I went to genetics, and I was the first person in my family to like get a B. Fairly, I was good friends with the professors, and they liked me, and I failed the vocabulary section, but I knew the hard DNA genetics problems. But they were like, okay, you just don't know terminology, so we'll give you a B because you know it, but you just suck at speaking the vernacular. And so now I'm a senior. I have a below C average, and I'm in a health sciences pre-med major with a Spanish requirement that I barely passed. And the straight A students they got to go to the hospitals and shadow surgeons and physicians and nurses, and they got to be in the ER. And like, oh, Tim, you've got a C average. We're going to put you in a nursing home, which says a lot about our society. But that tangent aside, I'm in the nursing home, but I'm in neuroscience, like I'm studying neuroscience. I'm in advanced neuroscience. I'm in neurodegenerative diseases, not as an actual class. Like I'm auditing, and I sat in that class for 10 weeks with a friend amongst my peers who I'd been taking neuroscience with for 20 weeks. And there I am in the nursing home, and I'm just like, light bulb. Is there a dementia unit? Are there people with like neurodegenerative diseases here? Yeah, they're in the basement. They have Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. Is that where you want to be? Let's put you down there. That makes more sense. And so instead of like reading to people and just talking to old folks, they put me in the dementia unit. There's a piano there for 10 weeks for an hour every day because these people have Alzheimer's disease, and I don't want to sound evil, but I played the same set for an hour for 10 weeks. I performed the same set for an hour in front of these people.
Every day?
Not every day. It was like 3, maybe 4, because it was an hours thing that I needed to get and like a requirement.
So you would just go and play the piano?
And the best part about it in Santa Cruz was I went to 2 nursing homes. One was a really, really difficult to be in SNF, skilled nursing facility. The other one was like a private pay, single bedrooms, assisted living, skilled nursing, dementia unit. Like it was an all-encompass campus hotel that overlooked the Santa Cruz boardwalk, and I lived literally 30 seconds around the corner.
Oh, great.
So I could get stoned and I could go and play piano for the old people. And
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it was and I did it, and it would flow and it'd be fluid and whatever. And it was music and it was art and it was Santa Cruz. And so after 10 weeks, some of these residents, and I swear to God, like these patients that I was taking care of, they were incontinent. They couldn't speak. They couldn't feed themselves. They were eating eggs. They were asking for orange juice. And it's like, Marjorie, you haven't spoken in 7 years, and you just asked for a glass of orange juice. What is going on? I looked into this phenomenon, and it led me to the work of a guy named Oliver Sacks, You should totally read this guy's literature. He died like 4 years ago, which is actually really sad. But in 2012, he was alive and kicking. He's got a PhD in neuroscience and music, and he's an accomplished pianist. And he studies music's effect on the brain. He has a book called Musicophilia, and the man who mistook his wife for a hat rack. And this guy's literature just like screamed at me, because it's like, oh my God, I don't have grades to go to med school. I discovered something. This guy actually is published and gotten a PhD in it. I send him an email. I send him a cold email just being like, Dr. Sachs, this is who I am. This is what I've been doing. Here I am. Help me. I want to come work for you. You're in New York. I've always wanted to go to New York and work in New York and maybe do research there. Oh my gosh. I want to work for you. And he responded saying, no, son, I have published the literature on what you've discovered, so there's no need for you to study this because I've pioneered the field. You want to look into gerontology. And I go, what is this word? And I Google this word. USC Leonard Davis School of Gerontology and King's College London have the premier institutes on gerontology. So I graduate by the skin of my teeth. C's get degrees, and USC goes, we want to meet you. And the London school goes, we want to meet you, but we're not going to fly you out to London. Sorry, kiddo. So I go to my backyard. I go to the university that rejected me as a high school 3.67 GPA. Like, they totally trashed my application. I go to USC. I apply to USC. I get in, and I go through 2 years of just, gerontology. And I did stem cell research, and that didn't work out because you can do stem cell research for 50 years and never make more than like $50,000 in that kind of setting, especially if you're not like brilliant Einstein level smart. But even if you can just hang,
because the funding's not there.
The funding's not there. You're just researching and looking under a rock that's not producing anything. Most really famous researchers, believe it or not, are totally like, I'm going to study this almond milk, and they're pouring the almond milk, and it makes this incredible reaction with something they're not even looking at, and that cures polio.
It's like sitting under discovering gravity. Was sitting under a tree, probably overworked and got hit
Sir
with a
Isaac
fucking
Newton
apple.
is writing calculus that he invented, and he's like doing smart stuff, but something literally fluke hits him in the head, and he's just like, oh my God, I just discovered gravity.
For sure.
And now he's Sir Isaac Newton. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So like that wasn't the idea. And my academic advisor at the time is like, Tim, you're like actually really good with people and not so much with science people. So why don't you go into healthcare administration? Like, why don't you learn how to take care of people, and not physically take care of them, but like manage the people that take care of them, because you're really good with people. And
for sure.
You can talk to someone who's dying and their kids who are like in tears, and talk to your director of nurses who's like, hey, like we have a meeting that we need to talk about right now. And like you can empathize with multiple people, whatever. So I go into that. I audit nursing homes. I do an internship. And meanwhile, like film is kind of happening, but it's more like it's more like a hobby that I'm learning right now.
Okay.
And
right now, even right now, okay.
Right now, it's
right
like
now
this is my bread and butter,
for
and
sure.
I'm in a program right now that is just like out of this world.
Because
Chase.
Insane.
So Chase and I
love Chase.
Chase and I have done like 2 movies together, and these are not cool movies. These are god awful, non-union, low budget, like there's no benefits. You know what I mean? Like this is kids who are like 20 running around with like real film equipment, and they're passionate, and we're putting a movie together. Like, we're putting on a show, but it's like people are getting disrespected and treated like crap, and like it's just long hours, and it makes no sense. It's just chaos.
I've done a music video. I've played drums in a music video before.
That's really cool.
And watching the production, I was just like,
it's just,
I was like, yo, this is nuts.
This is
like,
totally nuts. And your talent, and you're seeing this, like, I'm the one getting abused. People are getting abused.
Because you're the guy with the walkie-talkie.
Fired for no reasons, and it's just terrible. It's totally terrible.
But this is
but
your bread and butter.
Us. This these
was
jobs,
that job.
This was that particular job, and Chase was our DIT, if I'm not
He's
mistaken.
still a DIT.
And there's nothing wrong with that. He's a great DIT, but like he has this great vibe. He's passionate
about that.
Like saying we saw eye to eye is not really the right expression, but like we basically were like, oh wow, like this is what you want to do and you're passionate about it, and this is what I want to do and I'm passionate about it. And like that's really cool.
What do you want to do?
Well, so I want to be an assistant director, and that's
why not just a director?
Okay, Dad.
Well, sorry.
No.
I don't know.
That was just a
Yeah.
that was a
No, I'm with
cheap
you.
shot at my dad.
I'm definitely understand that psychology of why you would say that, but I don't. As an
it's a very particular, and for most onlookers, it's like what. Why be the assistant to the director?
Yeah, it seems like you like
the role of assistant director is basically like you're the cheerleader / timekeeper / manager of the crew. You schedule everything that happens.
So you're still working with the people.
You work with everybody. You work with the actors. You work with the camera operators. Like the entire
It's
crew.
more hands-on.
You literally greet everyone in the morning and say, "Good morning, folks. We're working right now. We're starting with scene 7. Bring me my actors so we can do a rehearsal with the director."
I could see you being fucking fantastic at that.
The first time I ever PA'd was for free.
Oh, PA.
Production assistant.
Okay.
So
which is different than
a production assistant is like they're the lowest person on the totem pole on a film set.
Okay.
They're like usually not paid or very low paid.
Like go get
me my coffee. Go quiet those people. Go tell that guy with the lawnmower 4 blocks away to stop using the lawnmower. Like just go do what I need you to do right now, and I don't need talkback, questions, earnests, comments. Like, just go do what I need and get it done as fast and safely as possible and secure it. Like, lock it down. Like, you're not on set. You're not helping the process. You're just like, you are a peg to fill a hole of like a leak, and just you're thrown around. And everyone does this, and it's great.
You have to do it.
You have to do it. Like, even if your dad is like, you know, I don't know, you're the famous producer.
Whatever.
Like, you still have to be a PA. You can have no experience, and because your dad or your mom is someone, you're just like nepotism.
Are you still a PA?
No.
Okay.
And that happened 2 months ago, which is like
good for you, dude.
But I've put in my time.
Is that protected by a union or?
So I'm in a program that is like related to a union, and that is what everyone seeks to get into.
So you just got into the program, or the program like you just got a new belt?
I got accepted to the program June 3rd. June 3rd, I got a phone call at 3:17 p.m. saying like, you got into the program, and hundreds of people apply to this. Hundreds. I don't want to say thousands, but like more than 1,000 people every year apply to this program. And this year they took 12 people.
And you were one of them.
And I'm like the Los Angeles representative from this program.
Wow, dude.
There's a girl from Caracas, Venezuela. There's Atlanta, Georgia, Oklahoma, Florida, Arizona, Rancho Cucamonga. But like, I am the LA.
And what does the program do?
The program
just is like
hires me and guarantees me the 400 union days I need to get me into the union that I'm trying to get into. Like, they basically hire me and guarantee me the hours and days that everyone fights to get.
For sure.
Because as a production assistant, you need 600 days. But if you could be a non-union assistant director, you need 400 days. So this is like guaranteeing me sanctioned union 400 days that I'm not really allowed to get outside of this program. And it guarantees me, they hire me, they call me, like I'm literally on call right now, which is why I'm rudely always checking my phone.
No, it's okay.
And it's always next to me. But
yeah, the film guys are trippy, man. The film guys are trippy. It's super like I had plans. Chase was supposed to come on tomorrow, but just last minute. Chase is like, hey man,
dude, I
can't do it.
Monday, I was texting an assistant director who's on a show at Fox Studios, and she goes, oh, like, tomorrow, Tuesday, you should come in, and we'll be in at 6:30 in the morning, and from 6:30, and you don't need to stay the whole time, but basically from 6:30 on, you're gonna just be in it, and I'm gonna teach you. And so I didn't get paid. I shadowed her. I was observing, and it's a networking opportunity. And I got to meet the unit production manager, other first assistant directors, second assistant directors,
for sure.
The second. I got to meet various members of the crew, famous actors that are acting in the show, and it's not to just like it is an elbow rubbing thing, but it's also like, hi, I'm in this program. Oh, Tim's a trainee. He's shadowing me today. Oh, nice to meet you.
What are you doing for money right now?
Well, so interestingly enough, this program allows us to do any work we want. You just have to clear it with the program first. It sounds really sketchy because imagine you hire me to work Thursday. And I'm going to totally show up at 8 a.m. on Thursday. And then suddenly I get an email or a phone call from my program saying, nope, Thursday you're on this show. And this is what you're doing. And this is what, we'll give you the time and et cetera and location. But like now I have to call out on you. So maybe I get a sub for myself to work for you, but you're like, that's not good enough. Like, why'd you do me dirty? So I don't work for you. The program has an agreement with like Central Casting. So I can do background acting jobs. I have my SAG card. I've been a SAG card holder for like 3 years now.
Screen Actors Guild?
Okay. I started doing background in 2012, and that's really what started.
Background acting?
Background acting.
Okay.
I had a job lined up in Santa Cruz after college at Santa Cruz Biotech. I would be making antibodies. It was totally a dead-end job, no disrespect. And
no disrespect to any of the shit we've talked about.
No, yeah, all respect to everything we've talked about. But like, I had the American dream. I went to a UC for 4 years. I was going to graduate on time, and I had a job lined up after college in the town I went to school at. Couldn't it be better? And my parents were like, absolutely not, and they were totally right for countless reasons. But we very much disagreed. I was like, nope, I'm going to live here and work. They're like, hell no. You got to go to med school. You got to figure your life out. So the compromise we reached, because now that I've been living in Santa Cruz, out of my LA bubble for so long, you either do music or film and television in Los Angeles. To me, that was it. There's no reason for me to go to LA.
Or coffee beans in the hills of Santa Cruz, Tarik.
But even then, like, you go to Portland or Seattle, and there's way better coffee there.
Yeah,
that's not true anymore now. You can debate that. But I said, Mom, Dad, fund me some cheap headshots for acting, and I'll come home and I'll figure it out. So I get some headshots. My cousin's been doing film at Santa Cruz and USC. I've actually followed in his footsteps. He's 4 years older than me, or he's way older than me. But I keep telling him, go to Harvard, because if you go to Harvard and graduate, I'll then get to go to Harvard. Go to Stanford, because I've just followed his academic career studying something different.
Wait, still you feel this way? You want him
It's a joke, but my cousin Matt Golad, he's a writer.
Oh, you
now.
Used to tell him to go to Harvard.
I keep telling him, go to Harvard and get a degree, because that means I will then go. Because
you would still go to Harvard right now?
I would totally. I mean, not right now. I can't, but I would totally.
But in your life,
PhD.
Oh, really?
I would totally but what's unfortunate is
you're
if
an
I were to get,
dude, man.
If I were to, thank you.
I don't.
Thank you.
I don't know. I don't know what. I'm sitting here trying to figure out what your goal is, but I don't know what your goal is. I don't know if so far
goal.
I've are you a med dude? Are you in film? Or do you just do film for money? What's going down here?
I've been blessed to dabble.
Yeah.
Master of none. Jack of all trades, master of none.
Yeah, I call myself the hack of all trades because I do a million things, but I'm not.
If I were to get a PhD right now, it would literally just to be Dr. Timothy Deal. There's no, I can't really use it. You know what I mean? If I were to be a medical doctor, I could actually use that, an MD.
That would cost you so much money. Why would you go and do that?
To take care of old people and to then
okay.
you know what I mean?
So when you said I would just go PhD, just to be doctor,
a PhD would just make me Dr. Deal, and it would just be a title.
I thought you meant you would only do it as a big dick move. So
that's pretty much what I'm saying is you just be Dr. Deal now, and it's what are you using
Deal.
with it?
Sounds like a fucking villain.
That's my Pokemon Go
Dr. Deal
name. Yeah,
I love it.
Dr. Deal.
I love it. It works.
I love
okay,
Pokemon Go. So I get headshots. I come to LA. I'm now a non-union background actor who's you show up at 8 a.m. and they don't let you go till 8 p.m. And maybe they use you for 2, maybe 4 hours max working, actual work. So you're just sitting on set. So I studied the GRE. I took the graduate record exam, the SATs for grad school. And I'm getting paid to study. What better racket? And I didn't really just randomly come up with this idea. It was just something that kind of was well, if I'm here and I have to take this test to go to the MCAT for med school wasn't really going to happen. I didn't have the grades. I would have had to gone back and get more school, and it's doable. And I have friends now that are entering medical school. I have friends that are just graduating from medical school who did that track, but no disrespect to them. I admire them, and they were my,
do they do it for money?
They were my drive.
Do they do it for money? The people who chase med school, what percentage is I'm I need to keep the family like name alive, and
Let
I'm
me
and not
say
making
this.
a fuck ton of money. That's my fucking goal.
Let me
That's
say
what
this:
I'm
the
doing.
people that like I'm talking about who are in or are just starting med school. These are the people that I met in school, who I had class with, I had organic chemistry with, and it was like, you're gonna be a fucking doctor. Oh, I'm like, no, like we've had this class for a year. We've been in the same major for 3 years now. I know you're gonna be a fucking doctor, and like, you're not, you are, you're not, nope, 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 you are. You know what I mean? And like all of them are doctors now. And it's not something subjective. It was just like they had the drive, they had the brain power. And to be honest with you, when we graduated together in 2012,
So it's a passion thing, though.
but it's like a passion, smarts, the who they are, their essence,
perfect disaster thing.
perfect storm.
Yeah.
And we all graduated at the same time, and
Perfect
nobody
disaster.
got in. Nobody got into to med school the first try. Nobody. They had perfect grades, perfect resumes. Nobody got in. Everyone went and got a master's degree, reapplied, and then everyone started getting in. So for me, it was like I took a year off to apply to graduate school to get a master's, and I thought, okay, cool. I now have what med schools will accept based on my friend's track record, but like, there's got to be something better. And I like gerontology, become a nursing home
Do you
administrator.
have a master's degree?
I do have a master's degree.
You're the smartest dude on the podcast so far, I think, book wise.
That's
cool.
cool.
I think
I'll
you get
take
the
that.
degree. I think you're the most. Well, you're the most formal. I won't say smartest because that's subjective.
Exactly.
And I've had
definitely
some
not.
friends
Definitely
who have been homeless on drugs and are pretty fucking.
They're
smart
probably
people.
way smart.
But you are the most formally educated person to have been on the podcast.
I appreciate
for sure.
that. Thank you for having me on.
Dude, this is fucking amazing, man.
I'm-
So I have you for another 15 minutes here.
No shit. Okay.
Yeah, that goes quick, right?
Let me bottle this down to 60 seconds.
No. 15 minutes, please.
Okay,
I want to
okay.
keep hearing the story. I just wanted to give you the warning because
So at USC, after now having background experience for like a year and getting on big shit, like I'm in the trailer for the Disney movie Saving Mr. Banks with Tom Hanks. You can clearly see me in the trailer. I'm right over fucking Emma Thompson's shoulder. Like that's me. Like clean shaven, eating popcorn, and then when you watch the movie, I'm in like 4, like, oh my god, like that's Tim Deal. Why are you in this movie? And I would get like, the reason I was in that movie was because I went to a fitting, like I got booked for a fitting, which means you're in it. And I go to Western costumes in Van Nuys, and the costume woman goes, "Oh my god, try this shirt on." I try it on; it fits like a glove. It's a 1960s vintage shirt. I come out of the changing room. These women started crying because for 4 months they tried to get this shirt that the director picked for this movie into the movie, and it only fit me.
oh, you're in.
Just some fucking magic, luck of the draw. But like, I went to go do it. I applied myself, and you know what I mean? Like, I showed up and I got really lucky. Didn't get a SAG voucher. I made $180 from that movie. Nothing big, but like, claim to fame. Like I am forever immortalized in a Disney film
That's
for
okay.
like 4 scenes.
That's okay.
So that happens. More jobs happen. I'm now at USC. I'm doing the science. I'm learning about old people, research. I meet a guy in my program, Craig Hung. Shout outs to Craig Hung. Craig Hung. We almost died the other night, that's a funny story. Craig studied film at USC for 3 years, and USC has a thing where you can get an accelerated master's in a 4th year. And he's just like, I'm studying gerontology to basically combine film with old people who have no market outside of like, I've fallen and I can't get up. Life alert videos.
Yeah.
So like, I want to be the next director, producer for this content for a generation that is basically silent and shoved in nursing homes and given students that get C's in their college degree and get put in a nursing home to take care of them,
Like
and,
you.
and volunteer like me.
Yeah.
So I'm going, oh my god, I tell myself we're gonna be friends, and I grab this guy, like firmly take hold of him. He hires me to be a boom operator, a grip, a producer, a director. I wrote and directed something for a film competition. He was my cinematographer. And like, we just start running and gunning with no money, with nothing outside of just our passion. And I learn.
Which is so fun.
And I'm learning a craft. I'm learning a hobby that I physically am passionate about. And I'm going, where was this? I didn't know this existed, but still got to do science, still got to do the medicine and the nursing home. And so okay,
So science comes first.
so it always is, and like that's the goal.
Still.
Well, not still anymore. Now it's film.
Whoa.
And so what happened is, and this is why I'm trying to like reduce this, is so
I don't want you to reduce it. Go finish your story, whatever it is, by the end of the story. Then we'll figure it out then. But
I work
go
on
ahead and tell your story.
My cousin, who's a writer who graduated from USC's Masters of Screenwriting program, I go, Matt, how do I get on a student film? Like I want to work, I want a PA, I want to be a production assistant on a student film. USC gives you business cards. You get into USC, you get a bunch of business cards. Fight on. There's a lot of money at that school. So I have a box of business cards that have my name and say gerontology, graduate student. So I write.
Does it say SC on them?
USC, the logo,
kind
everything.
of in the business of business cards, so I'm curious to what a USC free business card looks like.
It's an egg white shell
Shut
color.
up. I mean, I've
actually never seen that movie. But
I keep going. Sorry.
He goes, write free production assistant on your business card and pin it to the cork board on the student production office. That week, I got a phone call. Bubba Watson, first AD, assistant director, goes, are you available these dates over my spring break? So I scheduled like 11 interviews to get a job because it's my second year out of my master's. I'm going to graduate. I have a great GPA. I want to get a good job. So I have interviews lined up for the first half of spring break, and then the next half of spring break, I'm working on a James Franco film for free. I production assistant the shit out of that job. The second assistant director, a girl named Meredith Meredith. Sorry, totally butchered your last name on the podcast. She's an assistant director. She's gunning for the program that I'm in. She wants to be a director. She's deep in film. She worked on Box Trolls, that 3D movie, if you've ever seen it.
Yeah.
So she takes me under her wing. I learn a crap ton on this film. A guy who I've never met or who I've never really been friends with, he just goes, like, fifth day on the job, he goes, you would make a great assistant director, a first AD. You need to be a first AD. I don't even know what that is. I get through the James Franco movie. Someone from that show, that movie, liked me, hired me, paid me my first job in a movie. And it was this movie called Carnage Park. And I made a ton of connections from that. That led to more connections. I do 2 more movies. I do a music video. I do some commercials. I'm on set for a zom-com for like college humor.
Okay.
And it's a zombie comedy.
Yeah.
A zom-com, like a rom-com.
Yeah.
They send me in a van, like from North Hollywood in rush hour traffic to Santa Monica. They tell me to come back, but they want me to stop for lunch. I'm going, I'll die in traffic if I stop right now. So I stuff my face. I get there. All I ask is that they save me a plate of food. They don't save me a plate of food at lunch. I'm ready to just start kicking chairs and throwing tables over. And I get a phone call. Hey, this is the nursing home, remember? Hey, we interviewed. We like you. We're going to start you at a really cush salary. You know, you're going to make good money. You're going to make like, $70K a year starting. You start September 24th. I accept, I hang up. That's my last job on set. I go into the nursing home. I go into the nursing home for like 20 months and I'm totally disenchanted. Not from taking care of old people, not from the death and dying and the day-to-day of like the smells and the pain and the agony you hear and the low budget and the low fine. I'm disenchanted from the people that I'm working with because I'm 25. I'm like, we're going to change the world. USC hypes the crap out of you when you graduate, and they're like, you're going to be leaders in your field because you graduated from USC. They brainwash you with that, and you believe it, and you go out and you face reality, and people who are just so like, no, dude, you're just 25 and you've got a master's degree and you're smarter than all of us, and we don't like you because you're half our age and you're telling us what to do because you're our boss. So we don't like you and we don't like your attitude and we're going to make it difficult for you. And there's corruption in the nursing home industry that's rampant and it's accepted and it's terrible. So everything goes wrong. I'm asked to leave because when you're the guy pointing out all the problems at your work, you're the problem.
Were you fired, Mr. Master's degree?
I was let go. I was asked to leave my career that I just spent 26 years preparing for. And this happened on a Monday. The Saturday before this happened, my ex-girlfriend, my first girlfriend in college, her older sister was murdered in Berkeley on a Saturday, like Friday night, Saturday morning. I find out from a best friend of mine, Paulina Dow, rock climber extraordinaire girl. Shout outs to Paulina Dow. Paulina texts me about my ex, and I call her, and we haven't talked in years, and she picks up and she goes, "Hey," and it's like, "What do you say? What do you say?" The girl that was murdered was how I met this girl who I ended up dating for like a really long time in college, through choir, through music of all things. And so I'm going like, "How are you? What do you say?" Like you get as many details as you can. She's in shock. You can hear it. She can't breathe on the phone. And I said, "What's going to happen?" She goes, "Tuesday in San Luis Obispo, where I'm from, family from France, family from all over is coming to our house." And I said, "Work right now is really crazy. I don't know how I'm going to be there, but I'm going to be there Tuesday." And I told the universe, I'm going to be there Tuesday. Monday, I lose my job. Monday, I'm asked to leave. And 26 years, I'm 26, 9 years of professional school. And now I lost my job. So I drive up Tuesday, I get flowers, and I'm in a weird headspace because like I'm going to this awful thing, and I've lost my career. And as soon as I get to the house, all of that shit doesn't matter. All of that shit doesn't matter. Like who am I? I lost my job, and this family lost their firstborn. And so it was really weird, and like we cried, and it was emotional. And I watched so many people pour their souls out about this girl who is this bright light, and she was a combining force, and she was studying and she was working in a program that taught science to kids at like a low income, socioeconomic like disadvantaged status, and she's murdered in cold blood by a really weird guy who's a creep and deserves to be buried under the jail. And I leave, and I go see my cousin who's there in San Luis Obispo, and he's like, "Oh God, what a terrible thing you were just at. Do you want to spend the night?" I drive home to LA. Wednesday is the weirdest day of my life. This is the following day. I don't know what to do with myself. Like, do I get back on the gerontology horse? What do I do? Thursday, and when I left the film industry, I left the mafia. And the good mafia, I said, "Guys, I'm out. Do not call me. I am not available. I am now a gerontologist who makes a salary and has is trying to get a 6-figure job, working towards becoming a nursing home administrator," something I did not achieve. And now 2 years has basically gone by. People who I was running and gunning with in the dirt, and like they're producers now, they're directors, they've made something of themselves. They're in positions of power. And I just reached out to everyone that I've ever known, and I said, "I'm back, and I kind of need a job." The reaction was like, "Yes, oh my God, he's back." Like our science guy, our smart guy on the field who's capable of anything. "You want to drive a truck Friday? Camera truck. You need to go pick up camera equipment." That Friday, January 9th, I worked religiously until September of that year, 2017. Like I did not stop. I did not come up for air. And now something that was like a passion is now paying my bills. And this is my bread and butter. And I'm thankful. I'm thankful for every job. They get tougher and tougher and tougher. I get promoted more and more and more. I go from a production assistant to a non-union assistant director. I'm discovering I want to be an assistant director. I'm passionate about this. A friend of mine who I met purely through volleyball, through Westchester connections, throws me a bone because she takes a screenshot of a friend's Facebook that says, "Hey, my friend who's an assistant director wants production assistants to email their resumes for this Disney show." I email. They have me come in for an interview. They're like, "Dude, you have a master's degree. You want to be a set PA? You're in the wrong field, man." Like, and this is a kid's show and it's going to be awful. I don't get the job because I don't have enough set experience. So what do? I teach archery at a kids camp for kids with heart disease. It's called Camp do Corazon. Shout out to Camp do Corazon. I go to camp. That year, the theme was Wild West. So I grew what is my mustache. And that's the first mustache I've ever grown. And so I have this ridiculous cowboy mustache. And funny, before the camp happened, I get a McDonald's commercial because of my mustache, which I'm growing for the kids camp, right?
Uh-huh.
And they have me on camera in Spanish sing "Que tan picoso," which means how spicy. It was for a McDonald's sriracha signature sriracha burger. I get 19 grand from this commercial because it was for English, Chinese, and Spanish. So it's a dope rate times 3. They did a close up on my mustache, which is like times 7 because it's principal photography. So I walk out of there with 19 grand. I buy my SAG card, $4,000. What's that? Now I have money that I never really had before because I've been working these shit jobs for 9 months. So I go to the kids camp because I'm just sitting on cash, and you just donate your 5 days of your life to these kids. It's an amazing thing. You should get involved if you can.
It sounds amazing.
And the funny thing is the kids are like, "You do film now?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I do film." And they're like, "What are you on next?" I was like, "Well, I auditioned for this, or I interviewed for this TV show called Stuck in the Middle. It's a Disney show." The kids in front of me explode. That's how stoked they are. They're like, "Tim, this is Malcolm in the Middle for our generation. And it's way better than Malcolm in the Middle because it's like Disney and it's hype." And so I'm like, well, I didn't get the job. So I come back from the camp. I'm riding this camp high, which you get from taking, because you're sober for 5 days. You're on an island with nothing, no sweets, no nada, because there's ants. And you're just taking care of these kids who like live for this camp. So you're on this high. It's like super emotional. You cry when you're there and it's super normal. And I just thought, like, you know what? I've got some karma in my pockets that I could cash. Let me just text the assistant director who I didn't get the job with, because maybe they need someone to go run and buy some tape or go pick up some equipment. I'm available. Why not? I reach out and I say, "Hey, if you need help, I'm here." And she goes, "Oh, perfect timing. We're going to be in Malibu," which those shit movies I did were all in Malibu. They're like, "We're going to be in Malibu up the road from the last place that almost killed you. And we could use your help. We're on location and we're going to be scattered. Come work your first big union show on us." So coming off of this camp where you take care of like 300 kids, and when you talk to a child, you what I mean? Like you get on the kids level, they train you. This camp trains you how to take care of difficult kids.
Yeah.
And these kids have heart disease. These are Disney kids. Like, they're not difficult, but it's like it's a total different thing.
Scoot behind the mic again.
Sorry. So they're still kids. And I apply the same tactics to these children that I have been working on for the last 5 days. And I don't treat them like they're special. I treat them like you should treat a child. And I'm professional. And again, like I only have 9 months of experience under my belt, and I'm on a Disney show. Like this is real deal. Big cameras, stuff you see in a Quentin Tarantino movie, and it's like I'm nervous. I'm not underprepared, but it's a little overwhelming. But I stick to my guns and I stick to my training and the people who've gotten me this far and helped me. And I make an impact on these kids that they, at the end of the 3 days, they go up to their producer and they go, "If that guy with the mustache isn't at the studio on Monday in Culver City, I'm not coming out of my trailer." And they walk away. They hire me. At like 4 a.m, we wrap, and they walk up to me and they go, "So we'd like you to come into the studio and work for a week as a probationary trial run," which was a huge load of crap, because that show was really like, that was how that show was. And so I work my first week on a stage, a real stage in here, right across from the Fox Hills Mall, up the hill there.
Yeah.
And it's amazing, and it's a cool commute, and the crew likes me, and the kids love me, and we're getting along. I worked that show for 9 months, and the connections I built from that show, from different departments, I mean, like literally fueled my entire film career to where I am now. And I got on other shows, bigger shows, bigger shows, and I see these names on the call sheet, which has all the information, and I go, "Well, see, there's production assistants and assistant. What's a DGA trainee?" You, Olivia, what are you? You're a DGA trainee. "I'm in a program that's, basically gets me my union days." And as soon as I've discovered that this exists, I just fuel all of my energy into this program. And I applied my first year thinking I'm hot shit. I've got 3 months on a show staffed, and I've got 2 years experience, air quotes, at a nursing home taking care of old people, scheduling nurses to work. An assistant director is a scheduler. He schedules the shoot. They've got to hire me. Not only do I not get in my first year, I don't even get a "sorry, you didn't make the cut" email. I had to call them and email them and going, "Can you guys send me my no?" And they're like, "Whoops, we forgot." So I go to the best advice I ever got from someone on that show was the sound mixer, Reggie Bryant. And he goes, "What are you doing after the show?" And I go, "Nothing." He goes, "Well, what do you want to do?" And I go, "Well, I want to work on another show." And he goes, "Well, what else do you want to do?" "I want to go to Japan." "What?" I want to go to Japan. I want to do a solo surf trip to Japan." And he goes, "Buy your tickets. How much are tickets right now? They got to be like under 600, 564, not bad. Buy the tickets, buy insurance. And if you get on a show, you waste $40. If you don't get on a show, you get to go to Japan. But regardless, you have something to look forward to while you're in this trench with everyone, just getting shit piled on you. You know what I mean? And that was the greatest motivation I had. I was literally like 60 days from Japan, 20 days from Japan, 4 minutes from going to Japan.
Yeah.
I go to Japan, most life-changing trip of my life.
How long were you there?
22 days.
Oh, wow.
By myself. Tokyo, Kyoto, back to Tokyo to see Kyle Boyer and his boys for 5 minutes, and they're all...
Does he live there?
UC Santa Cruz. What?
Does he live there?
No. He was just visiting literally the same time I was there.
Fucking weird, dude.
So I go back to Osaka, or sorry, not Osaka, Kyoto, Nara, Hiroshima, Miyazaki, where I surfed, and it's El Porto. It's El Porto with a consistent 4-foot break.
Oh,
and
fun.
It's like you have to paddle out to get there.
Yeah.
So you're riding like a 12, 15 second
fun.
left,
Yeah.
for like 4 or 5 footer. And every day got better when I was there till it was like, okay, it's a little too big for me.
Yeah.
I go all the way back to Tokyo, go to Mount Fuji, come home, and I get back from Japan. And, social media, dude, you're like working on a show, you're traveling. I want to fucking hire you because you're just killing it at life.
Yeah, for sure.
So this fuels more work. I didn't really mention this, but like I had been off Facebook for years. And in that 7-month period of like shit jobs I did, someone convinces me, Destiny Farrant, a sound mixer, a boom op, shout outs to Destiny Farrant. Stephanie goes, "Why don't you have a Facebook?" And I go, "Because fuck Facebook. I hate Facebook." "But you're in the film industry. Facebook is a networking tool." She convinces me to make a Facebook, and I keep it private. I don't add anybody from my past life. It's just film people only.
Oh,
right?
There you go.
So now, fast forward, I come back from Japan. I work some odd jobs. I go a whole month where all I did was 4 days on a United Airlines commercial. And that literally was like how I paid for health insurance and all my bills that month. Just like 4 days out of 31 days dry. Okay, like just the worst fear you can have. I then again, someone throws me a bone from a community of volleyball people. "Hey, they're doing the Star Wars Mandalorian show at Manhattan Beach Studios. Camera test. Give me your email. Give me your resume right now." I leave the beach. I go home. I fix my resume. I shoot that off 7 minutes. Okay, like I'm not exaggerating. Like I left Playa del Rey. I sped home, fired off a resume. I get the job. I'm on the job. Somebody that I worked with in the past reaches out to me Monday through Friday. I'm on Star Wars. Someone says, "Hey, are you available Saturday?" Because I reached out to her last month when I had no work. And she goes, "I got a day for you this Saturday on the Orville." Oh my God, yes. I go to the Orville. That Saturday, I just happened to be talking to someone, Nathan Wright, shout outs to Nathan Wright, who's like, "I'm married. I have 3 daughters who like," and I'm like, "Why are you a PA?" And he's like, "Because my brother and I write, direct, and produce. I've never been a production assistant before. I want to learn the bottommost grassroots position. That way, when I'm a producer and a director, I'm not treating my PAs like trash." And I'm like, "Dude, you're the most solid dude. What's your story, Tim?" Fill him up. And then the next Saturday, I'm working with them. They call me into the studio because they like me, and they're like, let's give them some stuff. They give me 400 background. They give me the episode of the Orville where it's Isaac's going away party, and like Scotty sings to him, and they playing piano. Like it's this like big scene, and they're like, "Here, Tim, here's 200 background. Place them in the scene. Call action. Call cut. Like be involved." Nathan in the trailer, totally unbeknownst to me, is like, "Guys, I leave next week because I have a family I have to take care of, and I have 3 daughters, and I'm, like a mature adult,
Yeah.
I'm leaving. I can't do this job anymore. I nominate Tim Deal as my replacement." Unanimous, I accepts, like I approve, and that's how I got the Orville. I worked the Orville Monday through Friday at Fox. Like it was the greatest, like just whoa, I'm on the Fox studio now. I'm working the Orville. I get to an opportunity to work a Netflix show called Dead to Me. I leave the Orville before it's done to prep one day on this Netflix show. So from like August, like July, August till December, I went from Fox Studios to a Netflix show, and it's Christmas. And then my buddy and I, this past year, we went to Germany, and then I went to Bali, and then I went to like Breckenridge, Colorado. Like I just had all these travel trips planned.
Jesus, dude.
And then this year, like, and I say this with like disbelief still, this has been the first year where like I came home from Bali early because I got sick. I got Bali belly, which is an awful thing.
Yeah.
And because I came home early and I was sick, someone's like, hey, you know, I need you. Are you available? Can you do something? And then just like work. I did a show called Strange Angel. And again, like I sent out an application for this program in September and I forgot about it because you just send this thing off and you don't think about it. March comes around and I get an email that says, hey, we're the program you applied for in September. We'd like to interview you. Come on in. I mean, this is the golden ticket to Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory. This is the invite to the Chocolate Factory. So I go to the first interview and it's insane. And without getting too much into it, you show up, there's 60 of you. They give you a little hour speech. They give you a 20-page 2-problem set and they go, here's 10 minutes, read these 2 problems. You barely have enough time to finish. They put you in a room with 6 strangers, like yourself and 5 others. There's 3 adults that watch you and they time you and they give you 40 minutes to solve both problems. And that's it. You finish, pencils down, you go sit outside. Nobody's allowed to talk. They call you in one at a time. You get a 3-minute exit interview. Like how did you think it went well? What would you change? How do you, assuming you're the best candidate, who would you pick and why? Like who would you nominate from your group? And so you talk about all this stuff. Thanks. You get an email tonight that says you go to phase 2 or not. I'm on a shoot that night with some friends, Katie Salowski, I hope I said that right, and Jenny Westra. We do this yoga studio, and Jerry's son.
Shout outs on shout outs tonight. Keep
and you know, like it's very low budget. It's a passion project. We're friends. We're helping each other out. You know, he's bringing his equipment. I'm bringing my talents. They're acting and we're filming them. And I'm operating a camera and being the first AD and helping direct. And I don't look at my email because my yoga instructor of all people says, don't look at your email. Like be present with the people you're working with. Because if you get a no, you're going to be so bummed out the shoot's going to fail and it's going to suck.
For sure.
And if you get a yes, you know, you're going to be too much thinking about yourself. Like just be present.
Yeah.
So of all people, my dad texts me going, did you check your email yet? And I'm like, no, not yet. And he's like, you should check it. And like my dad's able to check my email in case of emergencies or like, you know, God forbid something. And so I get into the second round. And this is like all the other kids in the Wonka factory are gone. And now you're Charlie.
Yeah.
One-on-one with Willie.
Yeah.
But instead of Willie, it's 10 people who are like on the board of trustees. I've defended a master's thesis at a prestigious university. I've done crazy I've written 40-page papers that took me 2 months and presented it and given lecture. Like I've done some crazy cool shit. And that interview with the 10 people was the most difficult thing I've ever done.
Wow.
And they grill you. They try to make you uncomfortable. I showed up as I am. I dressed to impress. I gave it my all. But unlike the first interview, I came out of this thing going like, dude, I literally have no idea how that went. I have no clue if that went good or bad. And they give me like, oh, we'll call you in a couple of days. 11 days later, I get a phone call. It's the program administrator. So you can like get on the wait list or not get in. And so like you're just waiting for, and like the advice you get is like, imagine like that just didn't happen. Like you interviewed with them and it's done.
And go back to life.
Now just pretend like it never happened. Don't tell anyone, you know, tell your immediate people.
Yeah.
But just go. Like just go. Don't think about it. So I get a phone call. I'm actually working on a stage and like we're in the one corner of the massive stage. I run to the other end of the stage. I'm like cowering, you know, behind like a set thinking like, oh my God. And her voice is positive and you can hear that she's smiling over the phone and she goes, I'm calling to see if you'd like to take a space in our class of 2019, I fall to my knees. I say I accept, and then I just like I wept like I've never wept before.
Oh, good for you, man.
And it was this hard work paid off
For sure.
in an industry that does not abide by that at all. And it was this just like it was this unprecedented thing. Like I'm this nobody who comes in from nowhere after like having a brief little fun stint and then just like totally quitting, coming back, giving it his all, going from 9 months of like crap to like, oh my God, I just did like 200 and something days of actual real work that is considerable, you know, getting like 40% of what I need to actually apply legitimately. Because this program is like the ace in the hole. You either apply the hard way and do 1,000 days basically of like PA work, and then you can become an assistant director, or you get into this program and they're just like, here, we're just going to like bless you with a status, and now you just go and you're on call and you're like a Jason Bourne. Like that's what you are. Like you're just anywhere we need you to be, and the cell phone goes off and it's like dun 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 dun, and that's it. And now that's it. You're on an assignment.
For sure.
And
that's your life now.
And that's my life now. So that's
what a beautiful story, dude.
Thank you. I'm sorry if it.
No, not at all, dude. My dad, he graduated from Maryland University with something along the lines of a finance degree. So him and my hippie mom have never saw eye to eye on a lot of things, but my dad has given me a lot of, and I think the voice in my head that goes, "You're fucking up," kind of sounds like my dad to me sometimes. But why I'm bringing this up is there's two things that come to mind when he has taught me throughout my life. One, maybe not so relevant right now, is if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. But two, which reminds me a lot of your story, is luck is when opportunity and preparation meet.
Oh yeah.
And it sounds like when you would hear a story like this, and the first initial reaction to go, "Oh man, you're so lucky," but you have done all of the dirt. You have all of the dirt under the fingernails to say that you deserve this type of action.
I can confidently say probably like 50 people that deserve this more than me. And what's wild is when you get like this huge packet, and it's like a 20-something thing packet that you sign and return, and then you get a 600-page orientation manual that basically highlights the 27 pages. Page 1, I understand that there are way more qualified people that could have been chosen, and because I was chosen, I therefore abide by the following. And then there's like 3 clauses that basically say like, I'm going to give my life to this program. This program comes first. And I could be at my sister who doesn't exist. I could be at someone's wedding. I could be at a funeral. I could be holding my dying mother's hand, and if they call me, I pretty much have to leave.
For sure.
You can apply for like vacation.
You took the oath, dude.
Oh no, and I signed in blood, and
they cut your hand.
That's what I mean. And like I proudly, firmly stand by this. But like that is now my life. Like I could go to Japan right now if I wanted, and I'd tell the program, and they go, sure, go ahead, but like if we call you tomorrow, you gotta come back and work Friday, you know, and or if we call you on the plane, because you better have service and cell phone reception, you know, because it's a missed opportunity if you don't pick up. And the whole point of this program is they're gonna get you your days so you can become an assistant director.
For sure, but they need your cooperation,
and you need to be ready. So like of the 12 of us in my class, 10 people are working on assignments, and there's like 2 of us that aren't. So like if Claire, something happens to Claire, she has to call in sick or call out, they're going to go, hey, you're available, so you're going to be Claire now. So that's it. Like I have to be here. I have to be in LA to be ready to do that. So it's and
that's
you know
what you wanted,
but you spend 3 years, and this is not complaining. Like you spend 3 years grinding, meeting people, making yourself known, being that mustache guy that's on all these sets, and like you spend time doing that, and then now you're in this program where it's like you can't work as a PA anymore because we want you to become an assistant director. We want you in that mindset.
Well, that's what you want as well.
Exactly, and that's exactly what I want. 1,000%, 1,000%. So now it's just like you have to just wait and you have to trust the process. And, yeah, you can work and you can act. I mean, like tomorrow, I'm on Silicon Valley tomorrow. I'm acting on Silicon Valley.
Really?
I'm a background actor. Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's terrific.
And the set is really cool. And it's my second time going back there. But like the program is okay with that. And central casting is okay if again, they could call me right now and say, sorry, you're not going to Silicon Valley. We actually need you to go help out so-and-so, or someone asked for you, or we were requested for a trainee. You're the closest person. So you're going to do it. So I call central casting. I say, hey, I'm sorry. And they go, nope, that's okay. You're a trainee. We totally get it. You're Jason Bourne. You gotta go. That's, and the music plays and that's it. You go. And it's beautiful because it's going to happen. And I've worked with alumni from this program who are great assistant directors. I've worked with other trainees. I've been on shows where people just are like, you know what? I was a trainee. I'm class of 98. What? I'm class of 2019. That's crazy. Yeah, I was class of 98. I was a trainee on Starship Troopers and Jurassic Park, the original.
Yeah.
And you're just like, what? And like that nostalgia and like you were a trainee on Back to the Future Part 3. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, what a trip. Tim, I got to go watch Sopranos with my girlfriend.
Go watch
or there ain't going to be no more girlfriend after 7 years. Tim,
I
I love you. Everybody follow Tim right now. Do you want to, you got banned for thecure.com. Do you want to give a 30-second pitch on why you wanted that up?
We sell $1 hair ties, the ones that don't pull out your hair.
Yeah.
And our idea is, for those of you with long hair, you proudly wrap your hair for people who can't, like victims of chemotherapy hair loss.
Right.
We donate 100% of our proceeds to families in need, to charities that help these families. So it's kind of like a multi thing, but like we sell something very simple to raise money for a cure, for research, for families in need. Maybe somebody needs a wig.
For sure.
And that costs $300.
Yeah.
Well, let's help you buy that. Let's help you fund that.
Absolutely.
So,
bannedforthecure.com.
You guys.
A Trojan slug with a 0 and a 1.
And a 1.
Tim, you're the man. Let's get you back on here, dude.
Dude, thank you.
How much fun was that? That shit flies by, huh?
It flies. And I thank you.
As your career develops,
How was the coffee?
It was amazing.
Good.
But it was espresso. It wasn't
I'm
coffee.
happy to help share things with the career that I can. And,
yeah. Well, we'll keep having you back on, man. That was too much fun. All right, guys. Peace out. Fuck yeah, dude.
Dude.